Hey everyone, welcome to another Reality Skewed Gamers video, and this one is a little bit different than our typical ones. One, you'll see that I am streaming instead of Ranger, and two, I am in my, what I'm now calling my Territory Battles outfit. So I have my robe on, I have my hat, but it just became time that we had to do a stream today because of everything that was going on in the community. So I'm joined by a couple of people here. Some of them are our VIPs. So we have our regular Grande Patron. Say hi to the people, Grande.
Hello, people.
And then we have two of our VIPs with us right now. We have Mr. Teals.
Howdy, howdy.
And Mr. Knights Templar.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So there are some perks to being an RSG VIP, just so you guys know. So this one is a little bit of a different video than our typical one. It's going to be based mainly on the territory battles which came out today. A lot of you guys have had time to go through territory battles, or either completing or have completed already phase 1. So we can answer questions about that as well if you guys want to throw them in the chat. So go ahead and throw them in there. We'll try and monitor it as best we can. It's kind of a small operation today. But the main purpose for this video is some of the stuff that's been going around in the community. And I can tell you right now there is anger on my end from kind of both sides here. On the community as well as the devs. I'm going to start with what the community has been kind of passing around lately, which has been kind of irritating. We know that Cozy is one of the devs that's the most visible dev on CG, and she's known for her meme posts. And her memes are not usually in mean-spirited, they're usually in fun, and you know RSG loves Cozy and her memes. They're just basically there to kind of troll and have fun, and you know we kind of did the same thing with their recent debacle, I'll say, with regards to taking back August. We made our own memes, we made a whole video about it and introed our show to it, and all of that is in good jest. None of it was intended to be mean-spirited, but there were things going on. But lately there have been people that have been trying to cause more issues than actually helping the community. We'll get to the fact that there is that that issue with the 7-star Hoth Rebel Soldier and Captain Han Solo. But what I wanted to start out with is the meme that Cozy Spoon supposedly put out. And so what I want to show you guys is that this meme is completely fake. This image is not real. Somebody started it and then decided to start passing it around. And it is making people angry with Cozy Spoon and the devs for other reasons besides the 7-star issue. You can tell this is fake by a lot of reasons. First off, look at the date. It's listed as an August 29th with an August 30th edit. And we just figured out about this issue today, the 31st. Okay, so the date itself is wrong. Second, look at the forum. It is a post in the devs announcements and news, and she is replying to somebody. When has there ever been any person that can reply directly in the devs announcements and news forums? And I can tell you firsthand, there was a different post that somebody else had posted that particular meme on, and it was not Cozy. It was not a dev that posted that Vader image. That Vader image was on the forums, and I saw it earlier today. I wasn't able to find it again. But this is a fake. Please do not believe that Cozy or any dev had anything to do with this. They have done other things, but it's kind of sad when people are going out of their way to try and make the devs look bad when they can kind of, to be honest, do it to themselves. I don't know, Grande, do you feel the same way? I'm kind of pissed off that people in the community are actually doing or stooping down to this level in order to try and make a point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to fake our stuff. I wouldn't want someone to say that I said something I didn't say and go through all of this effort. So I totally agree with you. I think it's a very, 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 very poor choice. Come on, guys. We have enough problems already with misinformation, misunderstanding, miscommunications as it is. without literally somebody making up fake news. Bottom line. So yeah, the player that did this really did not help the community at all. At all. They're just fueling the fire. You know, if you want to be 90210 and you're all about the gossip, go fucking play Pokemon Go, please. I don't need you here. That's about all I got.
Yeah. KT, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm right there with Grande. I definitely don't think that you should just be harping the devs. I mean, when they mess up, okay, that's fine. But there's no point in making a big deal and going out of your way to try to definitely drag them through the mud.
And Teals.
Bueller.
Sorry.
Still with us, Teals.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, so there's two different things. I mean, this is straight up fraudulent sabotage. And, I mean, there's one thing you bus drive a real mistake. Okay, people are upset. But that type of thing, it's above and beyond. This is a sick person trying to drive already enough issues that there already is. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary. I mean, people already have enough to be mad about. Now you're going to bring this around and literally just try and pretend to be a person, and it makes me mad.
Yeah. And so for those of you guys that see this going around, please do not perpetuate this lie, okay? It is a fake. Cozy Spoon, in all of her memes, and you can go back and look at her stuff, right? If you go back and look at all of her posts, all of hers are done in jest. They are not done in mean-spirited, and something like this would have been like a very, very mean post if she had done something like that. And that's not the way Cozy Spoon has ever communicated with the community. It's also not the way the community should ever make it seem like she's communicating. We should be respectful to her. She'll be respectful to us. We'll have fun with the memes. We want her on RSG because we like to have fun kind of the same way she does. But there's no reason why anyone should be faking and trying to do something mean-spirited like this. It's very sad, and it speaks poorly on the community. And I know there's a lot of people that are upset, so we'll get into why they're upset. But being upset doesn't justify making up things, and especially about devs who are trying to make sure feel responsible for any of the things that they do in this game. So with that, we'll go into what the big criticism is about. And that is the Hoth Rebel Soldier and Captain Han Solo needing to be 7-star in order to get Leia shards, the Rolo shards, from the 3rd phase in territory battles. Now, if you guys remember from all of the videos that the Game Changers had shown, it always showed that everything else in that phase was 4-star, and you needed 5-star Hoth Rebel Soldier and Captain Han Solo in order to get the Rolo shards in that phase. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, you can go, let me show you guys here. You can go into your game, move ahead to phase 3, click on your Leia battle, and you'll see that it now says it requires 7-star light side, as well as 7-star Captain Han Solo and 7-star Hoth Rebel Soldier, which is a major difference from what they were showing. So we've been waiting all day pretty much. A lot of people spotted this early. Everyone was waiting until a dev post officially came up. And then CG Carey posted her response to the community to let everybody know. And just kind of skipping ahead here, at the end she wrote, "This is all said for clarification. Hoth Rebel Soldier is required to be 7-star to complete Rebel Officer Leia Organa's special mission." So we'll kind of just go around here and let you all give your reactions, but we all know that RSG is not a game changer. If we were, and we did what Warrior and what Mobile Gamer and what Arnold did, and they put out videos to help the community based on content that was given to them by CG, and then had it changed on them and made it look like they were liars, I would be more than pissed off at what they did to my credibility as a game changer, who they brought into their company to be liaisons to the community to spread this information. if this is the way that you treat people that are supposed to help you and try to promote your game, and you change the content and make it seem like they're liars, that's just awful. Grande, before I continue to blow off steam here.
So I see both sides of this for a minute. Okay, so the first side I'm going to say is I think that you're right on the one part as far as the human interaction, right? As far as you flew people to California to have them help you teach people and have them understand what they're supposed to do, and then something changed. But I also want to say it this way: is they were playing a beta, they were playing some type of a developer build or something, so it's not totally right. I mean, we've seen tons of mistakes in developer builds before. I mean, even going all the way back to EA Play, whenever you could take someone to Gear 12, even though you weren't supposed to, right? And it screwed up the game. I kind of, whenever we see something that looks like a developer build, whenever we see something that looks like a special from the, and you're seeing like pre-release content, we need to take it with a grain of salt that what they're saying is true. It's mostly true, but there will probably be changes. Somehow we have to do that. So there's two parts to this. One is, hey, things can change. The other one is, if you know things are going to change, why are you trying to surprise people and make it look like people are being untruthful or somehow hiding the truth? So I feel both sides on this issue, and I don't really I could see why someone would be hurt or upset on both sides, if that makes sense. I probably lean more towards the player in this particular issue than the company. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Knights Templar?
Yeah, I'm definitely agreeing with you guys. I have no issues if they always wanted this to be 7-star, but the fact that they've released all this content revealing that it should be 5-star, they need to at least roll this one back. And I mean, it's not going to make everyone super happy, but they need to, at least for this one, just say, hey, yeah, we messed up. We'll put this one at 5-star. Just in the future, be warned, it's going to be 7. Especially seeing as that $10 pack was there, I can guarantee you at least a lot of the people that aren't whales bought this pack because it was halfway to 4-star, and they're like, yeah, I got 3 days, I can get this. 5-star might be manageable. I don't have to spend much. So that's just my thought on it.
What about you, Teals? Because that's the point I was going to explode about, by the way, before I tossed it to Grande.
Open communication and honesty, and being upfront is the only way that you can get your customers to buy from you. It's okay when it's okay to make a mistake, but seems like we've had a number of mistakes that are kind of similar to this. Mm-hmm. So, we probably if it was my company and I was running it, I would probably make some different choices. I'm not in the room. I'm not in the room seeing what they're doing and why they decided to make this choice.
Yeah.
They also said that in the future they're going to try to make it more clear, which, hey, they're basically saying we kind of screwed up. We made some mistakes. In the future, we will make it more clear. This could be a mistake where right hand is not talking to the left hand. I don't know, Turbs. I know Turbs is all been out that I'm not that upset about it. Look, we're going to be playing territory battles for a long time. Rebel Officer Leia Organa is not a meta character. Sorry, she's not.
It isn't, but there is. Well,
you guys might get all excited about it. Look, if we were going for POW, would you guys be this upset about it?
I think you're missing the point a little bit here, Grande.
Okay,
it's not necessarily the character. The reason that I'm kind of pissed off about this change is because the whales are probably going to buy this stuff anyways, right? They're trying to get to the uppermost content. There are a lot of people that I know that are either free to play or even just barely minnows that don't spend that much money, that came in with the mindset that, oh, I can buy this $10 pack. $10 is not that much. I'll buy this pack and it'll help my guild get these shards in case there's anybody else that needs them. Territory battles is the first thing they've introduced where your progress will directly affect whether or not somebody else gets a shard. I mean, if you don't have your Hoth Rebel soldier and your Captain Han Solo at 5 stars, which is what it was originally posted at, if you didn't have them at 5 star, then you were not helping your guild get that shard to everybody. And then you might feel like you're letting down your guild. So there was a lot of people that were just on the borderline of not spending or just barely spending that decided, okay, $10, not a huge amount. I'll buy this pack. I can help my guild get those packs or get those shards. But if it's now 7 stars, there's no way they're helping. They spend $10 for nothing.
Time out. I hear you. Time out. Let's say we territory battle once a week. I don't know if we do or not. Let's just say we do. If you territory battle once a week, everybody gets 50 shards. In 7 weeks, this content is irrelevant.
It doesn't change the fact that you got somebody to spend money with false promises. And I know I know as people are saying it's not their promises, that it was just shown on Game Changers videos and then they still reserve the right to change it. But the fact is that they are the ones that released that content to the Game Changers. We need to have we need to be able to say, if Game Changers are getting this content from the developers, we should be able to trust it. We can't just trust anything in the line anymore.
Infinity, for a very long time, their standard MO has been slightly misleading advertising. I mean, go look at the Facebook posts.
It is, but not through the Game Changers.
You make a good point. This is the first time we've ever not given accurate content to Game Changers. Well, that's not true. Remember Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano when they were like, "Oh, she's going to be OP and she's a light side Darth Nihilus." It's the second time.
She still was. That she was just easily countered. But I don't think they did anything in those videos that really. There was nothing really different in those videos than what actually came out. It was just the experience was different.
I'm just saying it's not the first time whenever things have been.
But that was also an interpretation of the Game Changers. So there's two different things. One is the content itself. The other is the interpretation from the Game Changers. Now, if one of them, let's just say Warrior says something is awesome, and then Arnold says something isn't, and Riemann says that this one is okay. I mean, that's all open to interpretation. This was direct gameplay. There's no interpretation. We saw it.
I mean, I see your point. I'm also saying, in my mind, it's not the first time, and that's okay. And so it's
It's the first time I can recall ever Game Changers being given content that was false at the time of release. Not they were putting out content that may have been false, but that they were actually given content that they commented on that turned out to be different than what actually came out to the community.
I mean, look, we've had remember Quality of Life update? And Quality of Life, and they got to look at dev accounts before that, and stuff didn't come out quite the same way as it came out in whenever they were talking about Quality of Life.
What stuff didn't come out the same?
Some of the buttons look different. Some of the graphics were different. So, I'm just, you're trying to say this is the very first time. And I'm trying to tell you I'm not so sure this is the very first time. That's the only difference.
And we have, I'm looking at the chat, so, and obviously this is kind of
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of getting all over me for why I don't.
Well, no, they're over me as well. So, I mean, I see comment from Hiro Kamada saying that it's not false, that it was just tuned, which is fine, but they shouldn't have given the content to the Game Changers before it was tuned in order to promote it to the community. The Game Changer program is designed for people that are in the community to get content ahead of time to promote that content to the players. If they're not getting the most recent information that's actually going to be out to the player. So if they give us something 1 month in advance and then they change everything by the time it comes out, what's the point? They should really be getting the information that's going to be related to what's coming out. They should do it after it's tuned. Maybe it's all because of this Take Back August thing that they rushed everything, and they were trying to fight that. But
this is not the only item, by the way. This is not the only item. We're harping on this one, but there's a second item in there that we haven't even talked about yet.
Question for you though, Finity, before we move on.
Yep.
If the Game Changers would have dropped their videos and then the devs would have came out that day and said, "Hey guys, I know it says a 5-star on Area 3. It's actually going to be 7. We made a change." Would you have been okay with it?
I would have been. I mean, I still would have been upset that the Game Changers were given false content. But if they gave it out before territory battles were out, then the people that actually bought those $10 packs wouldn't have. So yes, now, I would have been better with it.
So here you go. Let's flip it around. Let's say the Game Changers program showed a 7-star, and so people and they had a $10 pack, a $20 pack, and a $30 pack to get it to 7, and then today they released that they're actually nerfing it to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have felt any different about it? Now people would have spent $60 instead of spending $10, and now you'd have a whole bunch of people upset.
Why would they have spent $60?
I'm just saying if the Game Changers would come out and said you need a 7-star Rebel Leia Organa, and you need a 7-star Commander or Commander Han Solo,
Captain Han and Hoth Rebel Soldier.
Captain Han, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then you said and then Game Changers had all said it's 7-star. Everybody had said it's 7-star, and then they come out today and they said they nerf it to 5. And they had a $10 pack, a $30 pack, and a $50 pack. And so you had people spending $90 to try and push it, and then they nerf it today. How would you have felt about that? In other words, if it was the complete opposite of what it is right now with higher value packs.
Well, so the people that are in free-to-play guilds, who are going to be kind of the majority, I think you would agree with me, the majority of the people in this game are probably either free-to-play or very low spenders. You would agree with me there, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They're not spending $50. They're going to be in a guild that getting 7-star Captain Han is going to be something that's a long-term goal. So they wouldn't really focus on buying these packs early. So what you're saying would be relatively inconsequential. It would actually be kind of a bonus that they were doing something nice for the community. I mean, that would be kind of the perception. But the people that bought the packs are buying them right now because 40 shards out of, well, you need 80 plus 65. So it's roughly a third of the way to getting 5 stars. You would have gotten with this one pack, and that's what you were told that you needed. And it's for $10. I mean, $10 is kind of the key here because it is a low amount for what you're getting. Versus if in your scenario, the same like minnows and stuff are not going to be spending $50 and $30 in order to get the packs. Even $10, having talked to a lot of them, was kind of a push, but because it would help the whole guild, they were doing it. So yeah. I don't think that that would have actually looked better on the devs. Would have looked better on. I mean, the Game Changers would have been still given bad content, but maybe we could always thought of it as an improvement made based on Game Changer response. That 7-star was too high because I mean, just being honest here, chances are people will give more. What am I going to say? More kudos to the Game Changers in any kind of change than the devs, just because of kind of the nature of the way the Game Changers work with the community. But
I mean, they screwed up. That's even. I mean, it's an apology post. Even. I mean, she even says, "Please know that we have taken this action. We have taken action to be more clear in our future messaging, and to know that we have and to know that we've had many exciting adventures and features to bring to you all." So basically, she's saying we screwed up again.
After they collected all the $10 packs from people,
we screwed up again. They're basically saying we screwed up again. And we're sorry. Move on. I mean, territory battles dropped less than 12 hours ago, right? Less than 12 hours ago is when it dropped, and so we have a post from the devs within 12 hours. I mean,
do you think? So let me ask you this then, just if they had put just before Territory Battles was put out, right? Because I think you would say that they knew that it was going to be 7 stars before it was released, right? Whatever it was.
Hold on. I think that we have here's the issue. We're not behind the scenes. We don't really know what's happening, but community managers and the people in charge of the game changers and some of the actual programmers may not sit down and talk to each other every day and know what each other is doing.
Which is then really bad on their part. That's bad management.
No, I mean, it's typical. No, it's not. It's typical.
For a release? Yes, it is.
It's typical corporation stuff.
Okay, I can tell you right now, doing project management, if something was my project, there is no way I wouldn't know. And if a communication is going out, I am the manager. I am going to be responsible for it. I work with like 8 different departments on any given project, and sometimes they do talk.
I get it.
But when something is released, that's on me.
I get it. I mean, I have 175 subs and vendors. We're constantly trying to communicate between different companies, different corporations, and different individuals plus owners. I mean, it happens. I mean, I get it. They fixed it in less than 12 hours, and you potentially lost out on $10. So, I mean, while I see your point, I'm also it's $10.
Yeah, but it's $10 is different to each individual person. That's my point.
What?
This is on a free-to-play player that may not be able to do $10, but all the time.
If you spent $10 on a $400 iPhone and you've been playing this game for 2 years, based on a 3-hour miscommunication on something that you did. They did this. Let's see. Today is Thursday. Friday, it's not needed to have that character. Saturday, it's not needed to have that character. Sunday, it's needed to have that character, right? Sunday, you need to have that character. 4 days before you actually had to buy the pack, they fixed it and they did their communication.
That's not necessarily true because you need to
gear them up. No, it's 100%. You could gear him up the day of. You could go on swgoh.gg and you could look at his gear and be saving the gear. We haven't, and you and I have not played that particular portion to know if you need to have him at gear 8 or gear 12 or gear 4, or if he dies on the first hit, on the first shot, on the first round, you're still fine. None of us know that.
No, you're right, but you also can't risk it since you only have one attempt. So either you have to wait a while to see what other people do, or you have to kind of overshoot it.
Then wait a while. I mean, they told us 4 days before it had to happen, and I think that pack was like a 20-day pack or something.
No, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you on that point, but people are buying it for that purpose.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. They screwed up. They apologized. They told us 4 days before we had to have something. I'm fine with it. I mean, this one does not bother me like it bothers you. And besides, it's for a garbage character. No offense. Rebel Officer Leia Organa is gonna blow.
Yes, I mean, I agree. I don't like her hit all that much.
You are gonna use her in territory battles, and then she's gonna be the next Gamorrean guard. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what? Big deal. Same thing with Commander Han Solo. It's okay. Their communication, while it is not perfect, is not terrible. It is way better than it could have been. It is not as good as it should have been.
The only thing I want to be cautious about, though, is saying like it's only $10. And that's because then you are kind of valuing how somebody else sees $10. You're playing on
a $400 device, Finity. I mean,
you don't have to be. You could be playing on your computer on an emulator.
Then you're playing on a $2,000 device.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's yours. I mean, there's kids and stuff playing too.
I get it. I mean, but
I get it. But there's difference in all those other items. They also have other returns. So it's $10 on a game where you're just getting something in game and there's no return, versus the money you spend on a phone or a computer, which has a lot more return on investment than the $10.
I understand. I'm just trying to put it in perspective a little bit.
I know. I know you play devil's advocate, and we go back and forth on this a lot.
We go back and forth on it a lot. I got to tell you, I would have been more upset if it was completely reversed. They had said you needed 7-star, and you had a ton of people go out and withdraw money and go out and hook up their accounts, and have blown $800 on a 7-star for it then to be a 5-star that's needed. That would have bothered me more. That would have bothered me a lot more. You act like it's not a big deal.
No, I'm not saying it's not a big deal.
No, you did. You dismissed it
I
as
think it would
the
have
majority
looked
of the
better,
players are free to play.
Right.
Yeah,
no, you're right from the whale perspective. It would have been worse because you didn't really
not from the whale perspective. From the fact that you have people out there that now, instead of shystering the individual out of $10, you're shystering the individual out of $100.
Well,
somehow
though,
the
you
masses
still do need a 7-star Captain Han in the last phase for the extra tokens. So
I'm just saying. You know, you like it when we're going for the little guy, but you don't like it when we're going for the whale.
No, I agree with you. You have convinced me on that point.
And
if they did it the other way, it also would have been bad.
It would have been bad.
Yeah.
I do not work for CG. Palmer, whoever said that. I'm just saying they did it 4 days before the event was needed to be open to actually have the dude, you know, and they did it, and they made a mistake. They even say in their post they messed up and that they have taken actions to be more clear in our future messaging. Okay. What more could you ask?
Okay, here's what more I can ask. Okay, so we were talking about the game changers before.
She's brand new in this position, right?
I know.
I mean, they promoted EA Jesse. They promoted Cozy Spoon. You know, poor Carrie is their first time. You know, she's only got like 8
and she might have not had anything to do with this. She was just thrown in as the person that was talking.
And you know what? So every time a bunch of people get promoted, CG Patron. There we go, Kai Lent. Way to throw your buddy guild member under the freaking bus. Oh my God, he's in my damn guild. Freaking throwing me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had to unmute to laugh though. I did.
I get it. We are beating a dead horse, Shadow Val. I think we beat it to death. It's just this person who's making this post and potentially doing the programming does not have you can't spell grande without E and A.
that's pretty awesome. I have to say that's extra points right there.
Oh my god.
That's good.
No, but here, so if you're asking what more they could have done, okay, so let's just put the game changer aspect aside, because I think that probably bothers me more than the $10 aspect. But let's put that aside for a second.
No. But honestly, the game changer portion of it, I think, is potentially one of your better arguments, actually. But go ahead.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many times have we had a conversation, either on the stream, off the stream, whatever, about somehow CG's left hand not talking to their right hand before they post something?
Oh. It is a very familiar topic of conversation for us.
So how many times are we going to put up with it? I know it's a new face now giving that exact same message, but this isn't the first time they put across that message. That we're sorry, we'll work better next time. How many times are we going to go through that? That's what I'm expecting. Man. If you're asking me what they could have done better, they should have fixed this by now. There's more to communication than just putting out information to the players. They're not communicating internally. And that's screwing up everything. And this isn't a new problem. I mean, it's been brought up many, many times. So what they could have done better is actually fix their internal processes. Whatever it is, whoever's communicating, whoever's managing, somebody has been dropping the ball for the past 2 years.
I get it.
Hi, Loki.
Hi, Loki.
That is a familiar sound of a lightsaber by Loki.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Hashtag will never get old.
It doesn't, man. It's good. It's always good.
Oh, there was. I have to see if I can find it.
Can I say something real quick? Just real quick. I was listening. It's a very good conversation. So on August 21st, there was a game update. I think you guys all remember it. And there was a data mine. And you could view the data mine however you need to view it. I think people put it in Google Drive. And I think swgoh.gg actually dumped the data mine on their site, and you can surf the whole thing. So actually, on that data mine on August 21st, if you go to Territory Hoth Phase 3,
I think it says.
there's a
I think it says
requirement
7.
there that says
Yeah.
exactly.
It says-
There's a light side 7-star Captain Han Solo, Hoth Rebel Soldier,
Yeah.
data mine right there. So
if you're data miners, you're doing good. Nice.
So this is what it tells us is the data mines are correct, guys. And going back to the game changer situation,
Thank you for the $2, Snoke.
The data mine on August 21st in regards to territory battles is correct. Okay, we can't dispute that because it's fact.
No, that you're correct.
The game changer content that was given, and they flew the guys in to Northern California, and they drank Starbucks, and they did their thing over there, and they ate whatever the hell they eat up there. That content was obviously not updated to the data mine that they released out to the public. So I agree with everybody on what they did with the game changers, but moving forward, it's hard to dispute the whole $10 thing or whatever it is. Everybody was led to believe it's 5-star because somebody had a YouTube video on it, right? I mean, everybody's blaming that. There was one YouTube, and several of them said you needed a 6-star CLS, which we know is false because you can get them at 6 stars, right? You got to get them at 7 stars. So I'm with you on the communication portion of it. I think they got to do a better job keeping the game changers informed, if anything, because the game changers are supposed to tell us the facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a whole nother. We got stuck on this one piece, and we need to
go for it, Grande.
Well, the other piece is what's going on with ships.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even talk about ships yet.
Yeah, you want to do it? Go for it, Grande. You can.
I think if you scroll down from there.
I think it's in a different post. Actually, I have to find it.
Is it in a different post? I just want to.
Let me check. I think it ended up in a different post, but I'm not 100%.
And then potentially I'm going to add someone as soon as they accept my thing. Okay. Sick NYC. For everybody else.
Yes, the Rydigs one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it up now.
I think he's saying we can only use light side ships, isn't that right?
Yeah, so if you go into... Let me switch over to the gameplay so then you guys can see it. If you go into your phases that have ships, you'll see that now the ships are only light side for all 3 of the phases. So in phase... Or all 4. So phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, and phase 6. So they're all light side, and in the Game Changers videos, there were, I can't remember how many, I think phase 5 had dark side as well. I can't remember if any of the other ones, I remember phase 5, I believe, had it. But there were other phases that you could use dark side ships. But now it's all light side.
Right.
Grande!
Hey, this Sick NYC, what's up, buddy? We're talking about the whole 7-star, you're live.
Can you hear me, bud?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Magic of live YouTubing.
Grande. Shit, I lost you.
Marco.
But yeah, so...
Find a spot to hold the phone.
Sorry, bud.
So yeah, so you'll see that the ships... Yes, so we're not forgetting that either, don't worry. So the ships, now you can only use light side ships in those ship battles, in the combat missions.
Right.
And there was, bringing up the post now, somebody asked about it, to which, so you'll see the question is that the devs had mentioned dark side ships were going to be able to be used in combat in one of the videos. I can't remember which one. I think it was Mobile Gamer that had it with the dev. But then he responded that if I understand the question correctly, all ships are going to be usable in territory battles, but only some will be required, and those required ones are only light side versus the videos that we saw that were included dark side, so you could use like the Tarkin capital ship. It's, yeah.
It is what it is, man. I mean, to me, I mean, here's this deal, right? So we got told we could use light side, dark side at one point whenever we were talking with the game changers, and they saw, and now it's only light side.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have somebody who's like only got a Tarkin capital ship, they're probably gonna have some trouble. But you know, if they, I mean, the whole thing was light side from the get go, right? From the beginning, the fact that you could use light and dark side ships seemed a little unusual, like non sequitur, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is, right? I mean, there's more. I mean, this one, if someone's all dark side on ships, like their only Empire in Tarkin, could be a real problem for some people. You know, if they just went Tarkin from the beginning, they've only been Tarkin. If somebody's been telling them Tarkin's the best leader for forever, we have no idea. No idea.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What do you guys think about the ships, KT?
I mean, I'm going to go back to how I said it earlier. If they wanted it all to be light side, that's fine and dandy, but I think they should have at least come out a little bit sooner and announced that. With ships being so lackluster, though, at least for this one, I'm leaning more towards this needs to be, I guess, fixed, because there aren't very many choices, and especially with star requirements that are behind the ships, you now have, I think, like 15 ships to pick from?
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of the best ships are all dark side. So for the free-to-play player, why would you farm a ship that isn't good? Why would you go get just the basic resistance TIE pilot or the resistance fighter?
Yeah. What about you? We have KP67s with us. What do you think about those ships?
Honestly, I'm one of the dark side users where I was just like, oh no, are you serious? Because I've got a fleet, but it's all dark side. I have 5s kind of up, kind of Ahsoka up to like little bits and pieces here and there. So it kind of falls in the same vein of what you guys were talking about earlier, with just being like, oh, surprise, here's a change. And like, you know, it just kind of falls back into the argument you guys were having about like the whole like 7-star Hoth Rebel soldier versus 5-star, except in this case it's all light side ships versus you can use any ship.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then on top of it is like, I don't know, I found it I mean, I really appreciate CG Carey, I believe. I really appreciate, like, you know, the way that she wrote her statement, but then on top of it, again, like, you know, you could have at least mentioned even the ships. Now we're going to have to complain about ships for her to put something out?
Well, I mean, yeah. The response by Rydigs, and I'm looking to see if there's anything more specific right now. The response by Rydigs was very vague. Basically saying that you can use all the ships, but certain things are going to be specific, and that's not really answering the question at all. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some more clarification on the ships.
Look, does everybody know how to actually get over to the ships? So you get over to the ships, and you click on one of the battles, and I scroll through here, and I only see light side ships.
Yeah,
I mean,
I went through it with everyone. I showed it on the screen.
It's game. I mean, it's you know. I mean, we've already got a good example of what you see in game right now is what you get. So guess what? What you see in game is what you get. It's not a quote unquote visual bug. No one is pulling a Bronzium of old DACA, and instead of getting 40 shards, getting a 7-star unlock. They're getting 80 shards, they're getting a 7-star unlock from a Bronzium. This is not a visual bug, guys. So, yeah, it's light side only. That's it. I mean, you know, when we were told we could do both, it's okay.
Yeah, but Chirrut's in Bronzium, isn't he? Chirrut?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he is. Newsflash, Chirrut's in Bronzium.
No, we've already had enough fake news discussed on this stream.
Fake news. That is total fake news, guys, by the way. I don't know, man.
Oh, you mean the post you were making fun of me with was fake?
No. We're talking about we had one of our streamers at one point. Whenever
It's an old joke.
it's a really
An
old joke about a guy who said sure it was now in bronziums like 10 minutes after he came out, and it ended up and it was not correct. It was just it's just a funny
It
statement.
was live on the stream though as well. I've seen you, everyone's seen it. It's in bronziums.
Yeah,
And then a redaction literally about 1 minute later, like, oh no, sorry.
No, I made a mistake. Yeah, he was pretty upset about it. And of course he beat himself up over it more than we did about it. So.
He was quicker than CG at least.
He was quick.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to use that. That was hilarious, bro. Yeah, it didn't take him 5 hours to redact his statement.
Yeah, but I don't understand why everyone seems so surprised that the ships are light side.
Well, okay.
I know everyone is saying that light side, dark side. I don't really ever, and I've been into these videos and posts for quite some time. I've been studying these battles. I don't ever remember a point saying where you're going to use dark side. You may be able to fill in with dark side, is what they said.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to be able to deploy with dark side.
It's
like,
that's the only thing I saw was deploy dark side.
I mean, it's a light side battle, and back to what you were saying, Grande. If people are only farming dark side ships still at this point, 8 months later, you've kind of made a mistake in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, but you know, we have people that have done that. I mean, we've had people that have gone all dark side, but you go look at their roster and you're like, oh dang, you're a big dark side user, aren't you?
I'm not saying they don't exist, but it's certainly not the blueprint I would follow if I was a newcomer coming into this.
I would agree. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, you've only farmed one side of a two-sided, or now with all the factions, a 7-sided game. Then you've made a big mistake.
Yeah,
you don't understand how this game goes at all.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, next week, Mother is coming out for the Night Sisters, and I got to tell you, my gear 11 Night Sisters, which I was highly tempted to gear 12 today and yesterday, by the way, after buying a $60 pack. Did not. You know, I mean, if you don't have them ready, you don't have them ready, and then all of a sudden we're going to have the same conversation again about Night Sisters are garbage, and why do I have to farm Night Sisters in order to get Mother? I mean,
you and I have had this conversation before, and it seems to be something that it keeps coming around, and people fail to remember. This is a business. The game will not be playable, and it will not be on anymore the day they're not making money. They have found a great way to receive capital investment from us, and that is to require certain things to get certain things. Do you think there's not a mathematician in a room somewhere saying, okay, guys, statistically, the tune missing by most is Urororo. So he's going to be our tune you need in the next, or Dacha, or whoever, you know, or Night Sister Acolyte. You know, someone's doing that. You know, it happened with Phoenix Squad pretty clearly. No one got Phoenix Squad. They were terrible. And then all of a sudden they said, all right, we got a bust on this. Let's try something new here. Let's force everyone to get them.
Well,
you think they make a fortune that day?
Well, let me make one point really quick. So in Warrior's video, I had to go back and double check the exact time. But if you go back to Warrior's video, at 51 minutes and 22 seconds, he is showcasing one of the battles that you can do in territory battles. And he has a Vader's TIE Advance in his battle, as well as a Boba Fett ship.
And now we're unable to use them at all. That's because I looked today at...
We have no dark side ships allowed in any of the combat
only light side. Yeah, it absolutely looked like all light side when I looked.
Yep, it is. So currently in the game, it is all light side, but in the videos, it is clearly showing a Boba Fett Slave 1 as well as a TIE Advanced fighting in one of the battles.
All right, point well taken. I mean,
that also brings up another question, though. Just to kind of throw this out there now. If you looked at all of the other territories, right, you could only use light side or some faction of light side in the battles. They're also the only ones that are platoons. So why would you not allow dark side ships in order to do the combat missions, but then allow them in the platoons? Because there is no way in hell that you're not allowed to have dark side ships in the platoons because there's not enough ships in the game.
I couldn't agree more.
I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, there's always going to be a level of frustration too whenever people are first seeing this and they're trying to work stuff out. I mean, how many times did they change the Rancor rate? I bet you they changed it 20 times since its launch. I mean, maybe more. I mean, I don't know. We have better communication today than we had 2 months ago. Way better. So I'm not going to sit here and beat somebody up.
That is very response time is great.
And we have better communication than we did 2 months ago, and we have a direct apology and them saying we screwed up and we've put controls in place so it won't happen again. If you and I were in business together, Affinity, and I told you I messed up, but by the way, I've put controls in place so it won't happen again. I mean, this is the first time they've ever said that, right? They were silent about EA Play, silent. And now we have, bam. Now we have, hey, by the way, we're going to put controls in place so it won't happen again. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, what more would you want them to do? I mean, it's water under the bridge. It messed up. They said they're sorry. Let's move on.
There's nothing more I would expect if this particular incident came in a vacuum. But my problem is that this isn't the first time. And I know that they're saying that they put controls in place and stuff now, but the fact that they didn't before after so many other missteps is what's annoying. And now the fact that they're bringing down people in the community going back to the Game Changers thing, I mean, this is also another thing that makes the Game Changers video look bad. I am not a fan of people that are trying to promote this game being brought down because they are given whatever it is. And if it's different from when they did the data mine and those kind of things like Loki was saying earlier, it's not going to be the first time nor the last that they send Game Changers pre-stocked footage that they make videos on. I'm sure they would have done it rather than have faulty information go out.
They got pre-stocked footage whenever they got the Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano. And Finity, to your point, corporations make mistakes all the time. I mean, how many people are still giving Coca-Cola crap over New Coke back in 1983? And how many people are still giving Pepsi crap about Crystal Pepsi from back in the 80s? I mean, let's be real.
But they didn't bring Crystal Pepsi out again and then say, oh, it's going to work this time. I mean, that's essentially what they're doing. They have bad communication. They're like, okay, they're going to forget about it, and then they do it again.
They re-released Crystal Pepsi. It is a real deal. They re-released it. However, this individual that we saw for
I put nothing on CG Carry, by the way, just to make that clear. I do not put anything on any individual person.
Then who quote unquote they are you going to put it? Yeah. So the quote unquote general they is who you're going to put the blame on.
Well, being CG. It's not very general. It's going to be CG. Whoever is managing is not doing a good job.
Okay.
Because there shouldn't be a reason why there's so many people that are having information that's different. Releases should go, especially with this. If there's something being handled internally, like anything I do, sometimes there's departments talking to each other, which is fine. Releases have to go through me because as the manager, if I don't know what is going on, then what is my purpose?
I don't know. I don't know. To me, this release versus the Heroic AAT release versus Mods release versus Rancor release, this is going incredibly smoothly. So this is their fourth time, right? This is the fourth time they've done something, and this time is by far, leaps and bounds better than is it better than the Rancor? I don't know. The Rancor they did pretty okay, but they still messed up a bunch in the Rancor.
Yeah, Rancor's a little weird because guilds had just come out and everything.
Is it better? Is it better than Mods? Oh yeah. Hell yeah! Come on, man. They made huge strides versus that. Is it better than the Heroic AAT and how that went out?
I mean, I don't
from my perspective, yes, it is way better. So this is the fourth time we've had new content. Is it better? Is it better than Ships when Ships came out? I mean, are they doing a better job at this release than we did with Ships? We've now talked about the three things that you could do as a guild, and we've talked about the other new game mode, and we've talked about mods. And I'm telling you that out of those 5 things, was this executed better than the other 5?
Maybe I'm forgetting. What were the issues with ships and AAT?
Okay, so with ships you had the whole roster refresh thing that happened, and then with ships we had a bunch of packs and people camping out at rank 1 for 4 months. You don't remember that?
But people paid for the packs and got higher. I don't know. I mean,
and you had locks behind paywalls on Zetas. I mean, and you had ships.
I mean, honestly, I didn't really see anything wrong with that. I mean, that's always going to be the difference between free to play and pay to play. I mean, even though I'm free to play, I usually advocate for a gap between pay to play to free to play because that's what the game is supposed to be. You should get an advantage if you're paying money.
I don't know. To me, it's not their worst mistake, and we got an apology.
It's not their worst. I'm not saying it's their worst. Mods was their worst by far. There's no coming back. I mean, the mods, if they ever did anything like that again, that would be awful. But
yeah, I mean, this stuff doesn't even come close to that. So
no, it doesn't. But I thought they were on a much better upslope than recently, and I mean,
is this whole anger right now? Is this about the ships or about the 7-star Han and the 7-star Hoth Rebel Solo?
It's about the 7-star Han and the 7-star Hoth Solo. We're just trying to remember and understand that you can't beat someone up whenever they've done worse in the past. And when we would say that this release, in my opinion...
I don't know how this was so shocking to everyone. Everything that came out prior to this game being released said the phase plus 1 star. So phase 6 would require a 7-star character.
I mean, it's pretty...
It's all over the place. All over the place.
Yeah, but I'm not understanding your point.
The phase number plus 1 star with a character.
No. But he's talking about the phase. He's talking about the special mission in phase 3, where phase 3 should require a 4-star or 5-star, and instead requires a 7.
I got you.
That's the one. That's the one he's talking. But the data mine. I mean, I know.
Data mine also had a nuke gunray capital ship and an Anakin ship also. So.
Well, not the one on.
Not
August
this
21st.
one, but just previous ones.
They're getting better.
Hey, Finn.
Everybody's getting better, right? So.
Hey, Finn. The original data mine in February of 2016 said we were going to get a Hermit Yoda. Bam! It was right.
There is a Mother Calvian in GG too. If you manage to get the page.
I know. I'm rocking it, baby. I'm ready for my Mother Talzin. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna get a freaking legendary event from my Night Sisters.
Oh. It's coming. I've been on that for a long time, man. Night Sisters is gonna get a rework. Man.
They have to, man. They're so garbage. Oh God.
We're missing the voice of Ranger. We need. The Sith fucked up. Let's just move on and conquer the galaxy.
I know. We have literally beat a dead horse for an hour and a half.
We get some NPR talk here.
No matter what happens in this day and age, guys.
I like to good old
angry. No, people were so damn angry. Oh my God, they won't release the territory battles. Now it's out. Guess what? People are angry.
Good old Maurice is loving the new words I come up with, like remember. He's like he's posting it. Don't worry. Here in a minute, I'll use the word like, okay, are we all in agreement? If there was such a word, that we can move forward.
I for one, am not upset about anything that has come out. But then again, I'm.
Bro, you make me look like a minnow. Sick NYC.
I am not behind needing to farm these characters. I planned ahead. I built at the time. Now it's kind of defunct, but I had built the best collection score that I could. Really, for territory battles. 3 months ago, some shit got leaked, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be ready for this. I'm going to be ready for this. I'm going to be in a guild that is strong, and we're going to do well at it. I'm not going to watch it rip families apart like Hat did. I couldn't agree more with you about Hat. It was a fucking mess when it came out. Excuse me if I'm not supposed to curse. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's fine. Go right ahead. It's only live television.
I really think this is. I think it's going great so far.
I agree, man.
I think it's going great. I think with these people are very excited about Gear 12, but it's not Gear 12 that is doing the big boosts that everyone's expecting. You know, I just beat the crap out of a TI guy with all 6 Gear 12 gold stars for second place in my arena today, but look at what the ones that you can put the gear you can put on your tunes after you hit Gear 12. I'm so excited by that. That's enough to get, because it takes it looks like 2 weeks to get one full piece. So that's going to carry so many players' interest in this game for so long to come that maybe 6 months down the line, they reskin territory battles and make a dark side one, and that's going to keep us going. It's not going to be like Hat, where we're beating it in 20 minutes, and there's nothing I'm gaining from it anymore because I have GK. And so I really think they've made a smart move here. I think this is going to carry people for a long time to come, just in Gear 12ing their tunes.
I think the content is great. Don't get me wrong. I think territory battles is great on everything except just these random things that just showed up recently. So otherwise, I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, people are always going to be angry.
All right. Yeah.
At least we didn't get Chewy shards today.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
We got Hot Rebel Soldier shards.
And we got
Hot Rebel Soldier.
Yeah, you can't complain about that, man.
And we got
I thought it was funny though. Do you not think
we got Kings
Hot
actually
Rebel
messed
Soldier
up?
though? Why not? Hot
got-
Rebel Scout. Was it Soldier or was it Scout?
No, we got
It was
Soldier.
Scout. It should have been
We got
Soldier.
Soldier. We got the hard
Soldier.
one. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's a good thing then.
So here's the deal. I mean, we're sitting here busting on them. What'd they give us? 30 and like a bunch of crystals and a bunch of other stuff, and we're all upset at them. We're upset at them, and they're basically saying we're sorry, we messed up. By the way, here's a whole bunch of free stuff, and we're still busting on them. I mean, come on. How much?
And 30 of the hard ones that we have to get to 7-star. I mean, that's not bad.
We had 3 guild members get 7-star because of those 30
We
shots.
did. We had 3 of them get a 7-star.
Saying, Panda, and I can't think of the last one, but
Yeah.
Shadow Veil.
Shadow Veil. So we had 3 or 4 dudes do it today. So they may not have Commander Han Solo, but they got the freaking hard one, and in 2 or 3 weeks of farming on a Cantina node, they'll have CH Solo ready, and we'll be great. We'll be great again. We have to come up with a better name for that guy. That's so hard for me to forget.
Hey, let me ask you something. I saw a thing today from a friend. I don't want to name him, but he said it was a 33% drop rate on the Cantina battle for that tune. Is that true?
I don't know.
Captain Han.
I used all the 100 refreshes, and I got like 25 shards. So
you're at a quarter then, or no,
Yeah.
less than that. You're at less than a.
Well, the 100 refreshes is only 200 refreshes. What do you?
No. The 3. He used the 3 100. Yeah.
And then plus, of course, the probably 144. But yeah, I've gotten like 25 shards today alone.
Oh, we're gonna call him Cholo. Bob Hags in chat says we're gonna call him Cholo. We are so gonna call him Cholo.
That's good. That's good.
Lean like a Cholo. Lean like a Cholo. That's so perfect, man.
Regarding the drop rate, I've got to agree. I've been grinding Gar Saxon and Pooper out for a good while, and the drop rate's been terrible. And I've been saving loads of refreshes. I actually maxed out my what you can save on the Cantina before I did Han, and I've got shed loads of shards compared to Gar Saxon. The drop rate's pretty good on the Han, to be honest, in the Cantina.
Oh yeah, compared to Gar Saxton.
It's amazing.
Compared to Gar Saxton, I mean, look, they put him in 7D. They could have put him on like 9G or something, right? I mean, they could have. They could have stuck that dude on 8. They got all kinds of. They could have stuck him on 8F, and we would have been sitting there for 2 months farming that dude.
So I just did the math. Out of 34 battles, I got 25 shards. So that's ridiculous.
That's really good. That's really good.
Mine is not
That's
that
great
high.
RNG, dude. Grats.
That's 60%.
Yeah, he's doing really good. So,
and
I don't know.
buying him, guys, just so you know, if anyone decides, hey, I want to go buy him, I did really well. It cost me, I think it was 3,600 or 3,900 crystals plus $200.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna speak to the other of that. I stopped at 7-star and got 5s and 7s the whole way.
Really, I didn't. I got 50.
Yeah,
and
I
215.
stopped at 6-star with 5s and 7s the whole way. So
I got a 50 and 2 15s back to back to back.
MJ does not like it that I call him Gar Saxton instead of Gar Saxon. He corrects me every time, and I'm like, he's not an English dude in a fjord. His name is Gar Saxton, not Gar Saxon. Bro, just, you know what? I get it. It's a problem.
Grande likes putting T's places. That's the way it rolls.
It's all right. Alibaba. What? Alibaba.
I just want to advocate that everybody should go out and buy Cholo. All right, go do it. Go do it. Look, take one for the team. Be the team player.
Get the one shard for your team.
Be the team player in your guild. Okay.
Thank you, Master Mayor. Have another. Thank you, Master Mayor. Have another. Thank you, Master Mayor. Have another.
Be the team player in your guild.
Oh my God! Box and Fuzz says he wishes Cholo was on a level 8 node, so at least you could have false hope of drawing an Omega.
I would say the amount of time I've been sat farming Gar, I have not seen one Omega.
I got one.
Two
I think I got
months,
one.
I've had one.
That Saxon.
Oh.
God, that's awful.
Horrendous.
Hey, so can we actually ask? Can I ask the panel a question? A real territory battle question?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so has anybody heard if you are in that? I think is it phase 3 where you got to use the ship?
That's the first one.
So if you use the ships. Okay,
Yes.
so if you use the ship and then you have 3 pilots in your ship. Once you use the ship, do your pilots go down with it too?
No, you can
No.
use
So
the
only the
pilots
ship
and
goes down.
Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
characters and characters and
said
ships
that?
separate.
Well, okay, so it
Grande
was.
Patron said it.
Well, let me say
Who
this
said
was in
that?
all
The
the Game
Game
Changer
Changers? I don't
videos, and we
believe
can
it
only
anymore.
take that so far now.
Oh God! Oh God!
Where's the data mine? I want to read
Yeah,
it.
man,
because
yeah,
that stuff's...
that's it. Yeah, that's it. They're screwing me out of $10. I'm not sure that's right.
I thought you were sensible, Loki. I've just thrown it all out in the
No,
open.
man, I'm lighthearted, man. That was a real question rolled into a joke, man. That was awesome. That was perfect timing.
Are we even catching real questions? I don't even know if I see it. I'm trying to watch.
I was trying, and then I lost them.
I know. So if somebody
That's why they're called game changers, man, because the game changes after they play it, man. That's why they're called game changers.
Oh,
Nice, Loki. I like it.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it. Transformers more than meets the eye.
Like that.
Oh, good.
5-star Han Solo, 7-star Han Solo. Fuck. All right.
Yeah. Light side ship, dark side ship. Oh my God. Damn.
Alright.
Do we have any more agenda, or are we done? I don't even know.
That was pretty much it. I mean, what are your? We'll go around really quick, and if you guys have questions, go ahead and toss them in now. We'll try to keep up. We lost some of the
Especially
early ones, so sorry about that.
Yeah,
But
I had another question.
Mhm.
Shoot, it had to do with platoons and. Okay, if I put a guy in platoons, I can't use him in battles, right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay, so if I use a guy in battles, can I use him in platoons?
No.
No, right?
No.
Okay.
You
But
can
if
use
I
every ship and every character one time per 24-hour period.
Hold on.
Okay,
I
so-
will say the Game Changers did specifically say special missions were not included in that. So we do not know on special missions.
We'll know when we all get 7-star Han, I guess. So no, but the real question is this. Okay, so everybody was led to believe we weren't supposed to deploy first, right? But I think we found out today that if you deploy, you can still battle, right?
Well,
I'm out.
So there's a difference.
Day one is different than day 2 because we only have one section. today. Look, think of today as kindergarten, and think of day 6 as going for your PhD dissertation. Okay,
Right.
you were allowed to make some mistakes today, and everything is okay.
Mhm.
Tomorrow you will be allowed to make less mistakes, and then Saturday you will be allowed to make even less mistakes.
Okay, so you think tomorrow or possibly in the future that if we deploy first, that doesn't mean we could battle them?
No.
No,
So
no,
there's two
time out.
different things.
Here's what I'm saying. So let's look at day 3, because you can click in game, right? Let's look at day 3. So day 3 has 2 battles. One of them says in the center section on day 3. One of them says light side 4-star. The other one says rebels, and Hoth Rebel Scout is required. And that's in the middle center section on day 3. If you went to the bottom section and you deploy your Hoth Rebel Scout in the bottom section, you cannot do the battle at all, because you do not have the required character in the middle section.
Okay, so is that the way it is today?
Yeah. So there's two different things.
No, because there's one section.
So if I deploy Hera, right? If right off the bat I deploy Hera, that means I can't use Hera in the platoon today. As of today.
No. You're confusing two different things, Loki. So deployment
think of the
just
zones as
means
different
that you're
areas.
using that troop in that territory. Deployment locks that character into whatever territory it's deployed. No matter whether or not, if it's in that territory, you can use it in a platoon, or you can use it in a special or in a combat mission. Special missions will have to see, but you could whether or not you can do it. But
you're missing the key word, really. It's phase.
Okay,
auto deploy.
Okay.
So if you do the platoon or the combat missions first, right? You'll do whatever it is. You'll gain the territory points that were given to you either by platoons for completing all of them or combat missions for going through the waves. At the end, your galactic power from that character gets put onto that territory for deployment. If you deploy first, your character can only participate in a platoon or a special or a combat mission in that territory. So if you deploy first, you're stuck in that territory, versus if you do the other missions first, you'll have completed it, and then if it's stuck in that territory, it doesn't matter, you've already used it up.
Correct. Yeah, because there's only one section today, but tomorrow there's going to be 2.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
You're missing something. It's all about phases. It's call it days. It's one phase per day.
My guild, because that's the way I thought it was. The way you explained it right now is the way I thought it was this morning. Everybody, I think, is saying in my guild, I have to explain it that way. That there's only one section.
You have to explain it in Spanish too. You have a whole nother issue.
I do. Well, I got like 2 translators, so I'm good.
No explique inglés. No hablo.
It's just like
¿Qué?
And just for people watching, as a note for tomorrow, in case you guys haven't checked out, Phase 2 has 2 combat missions at the top, and the bottom territory only has 1, which means that at the top one, you'll be able to gain extra territory points by completing both of the missions. Since it has 1 extra, each person is able to get 329,000 extra territory points, which means that your bottom one will probably start to fall behind your top territory. So this is why you save deployment for last, because you'll probably need to put in a little bit extra at the bottom to compensate for that 1 combat. So then that's why you don't do the deployment until the end.
Right, and if you were going to split light side, dark side, which I know a lot of people say put dark side in one and light side in the other, you could potentially put dark side at the top and light side at the bottom, because there's more light side characters than there are dark side characters.
Right.
Potentially.
Yeah, but you're also using more light side characters as well, so there may not be that many left either. So that's another thing. So you'll be using 15 plus your platoon. So you'll just have to be. That's why there's a lot that you have to kind of monitor, and why it sometimes takes a little while just to see. You'll have to monitor your platoons and your missions, but that's why your deployment goes last. If you deploy first, you can still do the combat missions and stuff in that territory, but the goal is ultimately to get the 3rd star. So you have to make sure you have your galactic power of your guild mates kind of distributed evenly between the 2 territories tomorrow and then the 3 from the day after on.
The more territories, the more complicated it gets. You can use 1 character once in a phase. So now it's 24 hours a phase. You can use 1 character once a day. So when it gets to 3 territories, like you're saying, in phase 3, that's when you have to look through all 3 territories and see where your selective characters are needed.
Top,
just
top
like
section is ships only, though.
Yeah, tops is
Yeah.
ships only. So you still
Top
have to
section.
figure it out, but it's not as
Fair
it's not
point, but
overlapping.
one of the best
You
things
get what I'm saying.
one of the best things to do is before you do anything, why don't you read? I know that sounds really like trivial.
Well, when the
but
tutorial tells you backwards, then it becomes confusing.
it does.
we actually said in our guild, we have, when every phase starts, we've actually said you do not do anything for the first hour.
Yeah, ours is
Before
every
it even started,
2 hours.
we
Don't
said
do
that.
anything. Yep.
There
Whether
are
it's wait
guilds.
for a command decision or whatever, don't do anything for the first hour, and we'll plan
There
whatever.
are other guilds doing that also. Definitely, other guilds are doing that.
So
Let the people who can read, and then we can go.
Yeah, but I mean,
derogatory
in our
word,
guild,
I mean.
in Grande and my guild, they put out enough information before this. I don't know of almost anyone that I speak to in our guild that didn't ahead of time put squads together specifically for what's coming up. I mean, it really let you know.
We've over communicated. I mean, we've communicated a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you went into my profile right now in game, and you went to my my squads, you would see 13 different squads, light side squads set up with the required tunes.
Yeah, you pre-selected some good squads. That's based on the fact that we have some general. I mean, there's tons of data and resources out there. Just some little minor.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where you have to think. You have to actually think. Nobody's going to give you the answer, maybe. I mean, I guess there's probably going to be a lot of mistakes because of it. I'm sure I will probably make some of them.
I don't think Teals is in here anymore. But Teals guild from the Roughnecks created a deal that tells you like how you are for territory battles.
Is that updated now with 7-star? Because I think that one had the 5-star too.
It may have had the 5-star. They may have to modify that again. There was another one we were looking at too that was being passed around. I'd have to find it again. It does something similar.
All right.
Who knows?
I did the one that goes off of your swog.gg profile.
Yeah, they both worked it similar.
The one that I did definitely went by 7-star.
Yeah, it did.
I had posted it as a joke in our chat because guys were talking about it, so I posted mine. I said, "Am I good enough?"
Yeah, you were good. You were definitely good enough. I think you get everybody gear 11 except for one. So yeah, you were way good. I don't know. Did you see any more questions, Finity, in the chat?
Yeah, we have some questions, and I mean that's part of the reason why we do as RSG what we do. I saw a comment earlier saying that I'm getting upset over something that I don't put any money on. So I'm assuming that person has never seen or done anything with RSG because they don't know how much time is put into this. So it's kind of it's
a little bit of an insult to you. And I got to tell you, if I'd seen it, I would have gotten pretty pissed off about it.
It's fine. That just means the person doesn't know who we are, and that person I don't need to comment.
They don't know who we are.
That's kind of what we do. So I know there's been people kind of on both sides as we've been talking about this. But the point of this is that we're trying to get information across. We'll share our opinions with you guys. You guys can agree with us, disagree with us. The whole point is that we're trying to get information across because not everyone is always able to keep up on the forums, keep up with the Reddit, keep up with the dev posts, keep up with the community. So we try to do all of that for you guys and then try to give you guys the information, our opinions. You guys can listen to what we say. Me and Grande disagree a lot, so you kind of get both sides of the argument a lot of times. But that's what we try to give to you guys. So in the end, I hope you guys at least enjoyed this, and we'll go through some of the questions now, but that's what we're at least trying to do here. So I hope it helped you guys today and occupied your evening and gave you something fun to listen to. So this question for Grande from Box and the Fuzz.
Guys, I'm going to roll. Thank you, though, for having me.
See you, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sick. All right, so Grande, the question for you. You went through phase 1 and phase 6. The question from Box and the Fuzz, which phase will be the high school dropouts?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm guessing phase 3 is high school dropouts because Because if you don't 3-star phase 3, you ain't going on to college, man. That's all. That's the basic deal.
All right.
But another Boxing Fuzz, another Dark Lords member who's super freaking awesome.
What have you got? A rich mum and dad? Does that mean you can default to the next phase, or have you got a rich mum and dad? Then you can pay your way through, can't you?
Yeah. If you can. If you have a rich mom and dad, here, Ghost, man. Finity eats turd sandwiches. Ghost NWA gave us $2.02, bro. Thank you, Ghost NWA.
That's how I get the power to keep these streams going.
Yeah. You know what, Finity? He gave you 1/5 of a
You only have to cough up $8 for the Han pack.
Wait! Somebody else gave us $2 earlier. He's down to only needing $6.
Hey, Finn, if you open the lightsaber I made you, there might be $10 in there, man.
We all know Finn, though. All he's going to do is just going to spend it on a new hat.
Yeah.
No, I want Finn to buy the new Finn.
Or a new Hawaiian shirt.
You got to buy Porg, the new character in Force Awakens or Last Jedi. Apparently, he's like Chewbacca's sidekick. His name is Porg.
Porg.
Okay. I keep thinking
he's your new Wicket, man.
There's no replacement for Wicket. That's blasphemy.
I keep thinking that Sir Loki keeps saying that Finity needed to buy porn. So tell me his name again.
No, Porg. His name is Porg.
Porg
with a G. Yeah.
Okay, I got it now. It's just.
Is it like a hairy version of Porky?
His name is Pam, not Pam. Pam. Porg.
Porg.
Just by the way, I know I'm cracking jokes, but I do actually love the hats.
Thank you.
I'm not hating. I do love the hats.
All right.
They're cool, dude.
So what's the next question?
All right. So let's go to Teals then. I'll send this to you. Is Teals still here? He's gone, right?
I think you have to check out.
Here.
Oh, he's here.
Nice. Teals is here.
All right.
Man, I was pimping his stuff, and he didn't even chime in. That's crazy.
So one of the
It
questions.
was like a minute I was switching off my computer, but that was about it.
No.
Okay.
So what do you think about Phasma being the September login? We're getting a few questions about that.
I thought that was fake when I first heard it, to be honest. But carry on.
Has it been data mined yet? they might.
I don't. Let's go to our expert, Loki.
What are my calculations here?
They still have 36 hours to make a change. Someone may have not been saving their GW and spending it on Biggs Darklighter instead. We have no idea.
Oh God.
Hey, if it's Phasma from Last Jedi and she's got her freaking staff or whatever the hell you want to call it, I'm all for it. So.
Oh, bro.
I'm sorry, Teals. If you want.
Yeah, we stepped all over.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, Teals.
It's just really bad. Phasma is so much more badass in Game of Thrones.
Poor Teals.
Come on, let Teals talk.
Sorry, Teals.
Damn.
Zip it.
I see 36 going into the shard shop, and maybe I should actually finish First Order for something.
Okay, I would agree. That's probably the most honest answer. I agree.
Say 3 months from now, I should probably have First Order ready because they're going to have a $10 pack and make 7-star something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You driving a truck or what?
That's his phone buzzing. His phone is beeping.
Oh,
that's a text message.
Yeah, he got a text message.
All right. Let's go to Turbs
I
now,
completely
since he
agree.
seems ready to answer a question. So Turbs, the question is from Rob Hags, and asks, do you need to 1-star or 2-star territory to unlock the next phase?
1
star, isn't it?
Yeah,
you need to 1-star to unlock it.
We're stepping over each other real bad here. So we're like,
with the caveat that that's what we saw on the Game Changers video.
He is correct. He's totally correct. 1 star opens the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
1 star, but you can still. The way I read it, obviously we don't know because it's not happened yet. But the way I read it, your territory battle doesn't end even if you don't 1-star it. You can still do the previous phase again, and if you 1-star it, you'll just be 1 phase behind.
I don't know.
You'll still move on the next day.
I don't know if it works that way, but I just got a question. If you guys look at day 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, it looks like if you 3-starred that one, you'd sneak back in to the middle in day 5. See how there's like a little gap there, and the bottom one actually hits the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you sneak back in there? Can you like do like a flanking maneuver? And I'm like, I got you from behind, baby.
You gotta moonwalk in there, right?
I'm gonna moonwalk in there. Oh.
Shamu, motherfucker.
Shamoon walk.
Ooh.
All right, Loki. So another question from Rob Hags. So he asked, did anyone notice that deploying a toon into a platoon netted territory points? Not the bonus territory points for filling one up.
No, I didn't know that.
So,
I just threw my 10 in, and yeah, I was just. It was 6 a.m. for me, and I was half asleep, but I was doing territory battles, so, I missed a lot of the details.
Gotcha. So that is supposed to happen when you put a character into a platoon. That any character in your platoon gets automatically deployed. So the territory points you're actually seeing as your increase is actually the galactic power of the characters that you donated to the platoon. So that's why your territory points are going up outside of the bonuses that you get from the platoons. So that is the way it's supposed to work. Okay, so let's go to Grande. So this is from An Entire Lifetime, and the question is, should I be a team player and focus on Cholo, or get Hera to 7-star first for Thrawn? I have all the other Phoenix at 7 stars. Hera is currently at 6.
So it's Hera or who?
Hera or Cholo. Who should she work on in Cantina?
She needs to work. She needs to work on. They need to work on Hera. Hera gets used once in territory battles, and you need them for Thrawn. And Thrawn is a OP character, and we've always said if you look at it if you go down the list, Thrawn is an arena character. You work on your arena first. You always arena until you can't arena anymore, and then you Rancor raid until you can't Rancor raid anymore, and then you heroic AAT until you can't heroic AAT anymore, and then after that, then you territory battle until you can't territory battle anymore. So yeah, you go for the arena character, which is Thrawn.
Let me ask this question, Grande, just to see if your response changes. If you could use Cholo at 5-star in Phase 3, would your response change any?
No.
Okay. And you wanted to say something?
It's one shard. It's one shard of a character that doesn't matter. So and by the way, whether you get them in 7 weeks or you get them in 17 weeks, you get Rolo. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2 years from now, we're not going to remember the day we unlocked in 7-star a Rolo. So it's okay.
Well, I've kind of forgotten the day that we unlocked Royal Guard, but he was meta for a while too. So that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Turbs, you were going to say something?
No, I was agreeing. I was going.
Wants to say things over me, so.
All right, so kind of a general question. We can just go around to everybody. Questions from Darren.
Around
Palmer.
the corn.
Yep, around the corn we go. What are your thoughts on territory battles? The question is, were territory battles fun? Darren is saying no, but just curious what you guys think. Do you find territory battles fun? Let's start with, is KT still here? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So do you think territory battles were fun?
Yes. I'm all happy for new tunes, but it's been 9-10 months since we've had new content. This is desperately what they needed to drop for this game. I mean, of course, we've only done one day. They've hinted, at least the Game Changers have, towards day 6 having some kind of boss fights. I mean, they kind of teased us with the Ewok event. I truly do think that they did a phenomenal job with this, because this you can then put this on a different map and run with it.
I love everything about territory battles.
All right.
Yeah.
Just quick interruption here, just to thank Paco Cerda So he donated $2.02 and wrote just for Finity so he can almost buy the Cholo pack.
There you go, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Paco. All right.
We're riding Infinity like a cholo.
Loki, what about you?
Doctor needs a new hat.
I'm having a lot of fun, man. I mean, really, it's a lot more fun than the raids. I wish they gave us more in-game communication tools. I mean, the Discord and the line chat have been just. I mean, there's like 400, 500 messages every hour. You know, when we, you know, because my guild's talking to each other and we're doing stuff in the morning. So, I wish they gave us more tools to communicate in game. But obviously, that's pretty much the only shortcoming I see with the whole thing.
We didn't even mention that, by the way. The chat stuff. We didn't even get into the fact.
Every time we have an update, you mean the fact that chat went down, that in-game chat went
down?
Yeah,
it was basically crashing people out of their battles and stuff. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe going in right when the next phase opens up is not the best idea. No. Maybe we should wait a minute because I think that...
Did anybody confirm if they lost the battle? Like you were in the battle and crashed?
Yes. We had people in our
at least 2 and maybe up to 4 of our members did based on what their scores look like. And one of them actually put in a ticket to EA over it. He was really mad about it.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I mean, luckily it was phase 1, right? So, I'm sure everybody in the big guilds only needed like 20 guys to take down phase 1. So, yeah, it would suck if this was like phase 6 and it was doing that. Ooh, I would be upset.
Probably the reason why they wanted the staggered start based on the times of the guild leader was so they wouldn't overload their server. Effectively, by having everyone start at the same time, it's effectively like if every player that plays this game started a raid at exactly the same time. Can you imagine what it would do? Their servers are not meant to do that.
Right.
All right. Then we got. So if you guys still have questions, go ahead and toss them in there. So we have a question. I think Grande, you're answering it, so I'll let you kind of explain it a little bit more. Question from Flash Van Rhodes, who's asking, with multiple territories starting tomorrow, so phase 2, if you guys haven't seen, has 2 different territories. Do you think it's better to get 1 star in each first, then go after more?
And my response to him was yes. And then someone followed up with, really? Because the bottom territory unlocks the territory that requires the 7-star Han Solo and Cholo, or 7-star soldier and Cholo, and nobody has that. That's just a special mission. You need to 1-star each area in order to progress to the next one, right? So let's eat our let's eat our vegetables first, right? Let's get a 1-star in every one of these areas. Once we've 1-starred every one of these areas, then we go back and with progression of more members playing, we will then 2-star every one of these areas, and then hopefully with the progression of our players, then we would 3-star them. But if we don't, then we can't participate in the next day's missions. So the bottom line is we want everyone to participate, and we would like to at least get 1 star in every one of these areas of the map. So we can play tomorrow.
Yep. And keep in mind,
your turtles, but Exactamundo, dude.
Make sure you know your guild as well. That's also going to be kind of critical here. If you look at phase 2, and I have it up on the screen now. If you look at how much territory points you need, the top phase needs 1.9 million for the first star. The bottom phase needs 1.9 million for a first star. You have to know what your galactic power is in your guild. Remember that you don't look at your total galactic power because that also includes ships, and there's no ships in phase 2. So you have to kind of figure out what your character galactic power is for your guild.
Swgoh.
You can go on. You can go on GG for that.
Yep. And phase 1 in total needed 45.6 million. So it's probably safe to assume that phase 2 is going to be somewhere near 60 million. So you want to make sure you know how much galactic power your guild has. If you're not going to get 60 million total, then you obviously want to maximize your stars by going to the lowest values first. So get 1.9 million in each of the territories, then go to the second star in both of the territories, and then try to push for the third in both of them. But
just to kind of give you getting an example about one starring both territories, a guild of 2 people where one person played the top territory and one person played the bottom territory, they would 1 star potentially both of those areas by having 2 million GP. Mm-hmm. They had 2 million character GP. So it is possible for a guild of 2 to 1 star both of those.
Yep.
It's not that big of a deal.
Excluding platoons, yes. It is that easy. Pretty much. Yeah.
We're just talking about 1 starring the territory. Well, we're just saying if they didn't put anybody in platoons and they just went in and did the battles and then they deployed, they would.
Oh yeah,
it would be.
But I mean,
a guild of 2 would want a guild of 2 people in the guild would 1 star tomorrow.
Yeah. So, for example, me and you, Grande, we could.
That's right.
Do it.
We could quite easy. Yeah. Turbs and I could 1 star tomorrow's battles. Congratulations, you've gone from kindergarten to 3rd grade tomorrow.
I'm sensing a superhero team up coming on, Grande.
Hey, you know what? Turbs and I are going to go into a guild by ourselves, and we're going to do it. We're going to do a 2-man territory battle solo. We're going to do the. We're going to do the goddamn world's first, baby. 2-man freaking territory battle. Turbs and
for phase 3, we're going to recruit Ranger, and he'll be the third member. Sorry, third member. Sorry. My speech impediment. I do apologize. My speech impediment.
That's shirt material right there. Third member.
He'll be the third member. And you know what? Since he has an OP TIE Reaper, we'll let him do the ship section by himself.
Damn my speech impediment.
There's a follow-up question from Tim Husk asking, can you talk about the opportunity cost from deciding to 2-star both territories rather than 3-starring one and 1-starring another?
Let's get I'll take this for a minute because Knights Templar and I were having a similar conversation about the potential of 3-starring one and 2-starring the other, right? And so this has to do with deployment, right? So potentially you're going at some point you may have to make a choice between whether you're going to go for that middle territory and push it to 3 stars or whether you're going to go to the bottom territory and push it for 3 stars. And that's going to be a guild decision. You guys are going to have to evaluate your resources. You guys are going to have to decide what you want to, what you guys think is most important and what it looks like your guild can do. You're going to have to run the numbers. I mean, somebody is going to have to be the nerd and figure out what you've got left, what it looks like you can do. And Tim, how can I say this? This is a game mode. It's our first time through. Let's sort of have fun, and if we kind of screw up, we'll do it again next week, and we'll know better. I know that sounds really kind of like a flippant answer, but that's the answer I've given my guild. One week of not doing perfect OP performance is going to be okay.
He sounds like a math person, though, because he's saying opportunity cost. So I feel like a math person needs to be done.
So here's the deal. We saw it from today, right? Today, whenever we opened up, we had like 2 million GP in order to get 1, and then I think it was like 20 million to get 2, and then it was like 48 to get 3, right? Mm-hmm. So effectively, if you're trying to get 3 stars, if you're trying to get 4 stars, it would be better, quote unquote, better to get 2 and 2. You would actually use less GP to do that and still end up with the same number of stars.
Yep. The increases from stars are non-linear. That's why it's better to do 2 stars with both, because you don't need as much galactic power to get the same number of stars.
Correct.
All right, we'll go around the corn here. So the question from Chrome Cobra, which one is Batman and which one is Superman?
In the superhero team up?
Yes.
Are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll let Grande answer this one.
I'm sorry. I got like 4,000 text messages just there for a minute. What was the question again?
Which one is Batman and which one is Superman?
Oh, out of the 2 of us?
We'll go around. We'll split it. So we'll go between the two of us, and we'll talk about whether it was Hot Rebel Soldier and Scout.
Okay, so between
I don't think Grande can do a Batman voice, so I'm sure is I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
And I'm sure Smithy is actually twitching in his sleep saying, somebody just said Batman. I did a Batman voice.
and it's my birthday.
He just said in his sleep, no, I'm Batman. But no.
like from the Lego Batman is what he is.
Have you got a quiff, Grande? If you've got a quiff, then obviously I'm Batman. But
yeah, no. You could be Batman. I'll be Superman. It'll be totally fine.
We've established who the third member is at least. So
wait. No. It's either Infinity or Ranger, and they are Wonder Woman. I'm Wonder Woman.
I am the Medicine Woman, so I think I fit that one better.
There you go. We got it.
Well volunteered, Finity.
Yeah.
Well volunteered.
All right, let's go to serious.
I don't hear him shouting out it was Aquaman, but never mind.
All right. So, question from Darren Palmer. We'll throw this one at Loki. So, Commander Luke lead with R2-D2 Zeta. With R2-D2 Zeta Raid Han and as. Hold on. Oh no. So he's putting the Zetas afterwards. Sorry. So, Commander Luke lead with Zeta R2-D2 Zeta Han, Raid Han, and General Kenobi. Who should be the fifth, Thrawn or Nihilus?
I would say Thrawn.
Thrawn every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say Thrawn. I mean, Nihilus, okay, so my arena shard is all full of Commander Luke, all different kinds of builds. Some of them are full Rebel, some of them are hybrid Rebel with the legendary characters, right? But the problem now with Nihilus is when he does his Force Drain, that's an AoE, right? That dude gets whomped pretty bad now, because now all the Rebels can counterattack him. And if they're running a Raid Han or they're running a Leia, I mean, Nihilus can get one-shotted from all those counters. So I would say Thrawn, because he's super fast, he's super disruptive. He can heal all your guys up with his turn meter swap, and he can stun, and he's got ability block. He's got all sorts of stuff going on. So, Nihilus was good. Nihilus is still good, but in that particular team you got, I would say Thrawn.
And we have a challenge being thrown down here. Grande, Rydiggs is challenging you. He is saying you seriously cannot two-man this map with you and Terps.
Oh my god! I love that he's busting my. I love that Rydiggs is busting me on this one about my two-man solo. We were just talking about tomorrow's phase with a 1-star. It's not the whole map, but
yeah, I know. They're not going to two-man it. They need Ranger as the third member in order to 1-star it.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, this is the thing.
We gotta have
I did not intend this to stick, but this is the thing. You throw turds in the stick.
You can't two-man it because you need a turd member.
You do. You do need a turd member.
Look, but basically,
you are right though, granted. In talking proper terms, if you get 3 high-end whales who are over 2 million GP, you can. If you have the right characters, you can 3-man, 1-star, all of territory battles.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I don't know about all of territory
because
battles.
In Phase 6, it's 26 million for the first star.
It gets insane. It's insanely harder.
Yeah.
But what this goes to, and this is the point I'm trying to make with all of this, is how do they make this where a guild that is not full? I mean, we keep talking like, oh, well, we have 50 members. Well, go in game and start searching for some of these guilds. Some of these guilds have 20 members. Some of these guilds have much fewer members. And so, how do you make a territory battles that is challenging for a guild that is 50 and like a mega guild? And how do you make it whenever you lower it down and you're trying to make it challenging and still fun and not like a huge struggle for a guild that maybe only has 25 members? And it has to do with the stars. I mean, this is what we're kind of getting into, is the math of the whole deal and trying to see how the sausage is made. But I believe they did a good job in this particular aspect.
Even your sausage, man.
Man, I'm telling you. Sorry, guys.
Sausage and bareback horses, man.
Oh my God! Here we
man.
go again. Here we go
Did you
again.
just call Grande a sausage fan?
And Rydiggs, I'm interpreting what Rydiggs is saying as calling Grande a goober now.
Yeah, he will. I promise you, he will call me a goober.
Is it eventually, for the record, 2 people will end up one day, 2 manning it one day. He said 2 goobers will one day, just 2 men it one day. And I said Grande is probably going to be one of those goobers, because if anything has to do with goobers, Grande has to be there.
It's Grande. That's
And the
right.
third man will
but
just
that
watch,
means
so he needs to jump
That means
in.
you have to be in a guild. You have to be in a 2-man guild for what? 3 months if they replay this whole thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, look, at some point, someone's going to try to see how. I mean, our first goal is just to complete it, understand it, get the mechanics down, and then at some point, so people are going to try some cool, fun things, because it's fun to try some cool, fun things, right?
Yep.
And this could be a way of experimenting and having fun, 6 months or whatever down the road. Who knows? It's whatever.
All right.
Quick rant by Vlad. Vlad made a quick rant. What is he? I don't understand why the shards in increments of 5, and then the cost is the same. Shouldn't it be when you buy at once you get a deal? What is he? Where's he talking about? Do you know what he's talking about?
I'm assuming he's. Wait, let me see. Oh, so when you buy character shards, they give it to you at the same rate. I think that's what he's talking about. So if you buy 5 and they're like 85 per.
Oh, why
thing,
is there?
If you buy more, it's
why
still
is there
85.
like buying in bulk? Why is there not a deal?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look in the shard shop, it's the same way.
Yeah, everywhere it's the same way. They keep a constant rate on
if you looked at Fulcrum Ahsoka, I mean, it's different character per character. For example, Grievous is more. No, Vlad, go look in the shard shop again. We could do that on screen, right? We could work it out right now. So if you go to the shard shop, Finn.
Yep, I'm going.
You mosey on over there to the shard shop, and then you look at this. Okay, and you scroll down and you look at Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano.
Bad choice, because I bought her earlier today.
I know, me too. Let's take.
We can look at Grievous because he's the easiest.
Let's look at Grievous. So it's 1,125 divided by 5, which means it's 225 per shard. Now let's look at 10. It's 10, so it's 2,250 divided by 10. It's 225 per shard. Let's look at the one for 30. So now that's 6,750 divided by 30. It's 225 a shard. Vlad, it's always flat.
Yeah.
I've never seen where we've gotten a quote, except for packs, right? But we're just talking about in-game currency. In-game currency has always been
set prices
per shard. In-game currency has always been set. Now in packs are a little bit different. If you go look at packs, sometimes they'll have like a more economical crystal pack, and the value won't quite be there, but they have like a more expensive pack. And usually in that more expensive pack, there is a better value proposition. It's the same thing with crystals, right? I mean, if you look at anything where you're putting real currency in the game, if you look at the crystals, for example, whenever you buy the crystal packs, you do get a better dollar per crystal the more dollars you put in at one time.
Yeah.
They should make a bulk bonus for anything. I think it would be a good idea.
Well, maybe. I mean, the problem is Yoda's brand new, right? I mean, they're already giving us a bunch of stuff. I mean, we're getting Fulcrum Ahsoka in the shard shop, and I can't imagine on a brand new character that no one has, like for example this Hermit Yoda. It would be if I was running the game as a business, I would not give you a bulk discount on my brand new merchandise. You go in right now and you buy the most awesomest like brand new TV at Best Buy. You're not going to get a discount if you buy 5. They're going to be like, it came out. They're going to be like, it came out yesterday. No, that's kind of going to be the answer.
No, here's old Yoda from the Jedi Challenge. Here you go. I'll give you a discount on him. He's just as good.
Old Yoda? Is there a young Yoda?
Okay, so he's 50 years younger at what? 10.
800-year-old Yoda. He's the young one.
Old as in release date, yes.
Okay, here's a great question. This is a great question from Felipe. He says, "What is the quote unquote best way to 2-star tomorrow in both territory battles? My guild has 50 people." So
Recruit me and Grande.
hold on, not 50 people. Come on. So we need to.
We'll solo phase 2.
And we'll lean like a cholo while we're doing it. So let's kind of talk about that, right? So we've kind of discussed this before about kind of like what we need to do. The first thing you do when you go in, you need to read everything. You need to understand what you're doing, right? We need to understand the fact that the upper location has one area for platoon. That's that kind of like disc-looking pieces, and then it has 2 missions. One mission is going to be a rebels only with Hoth Rebel Soldier. The other one is going to be light side. Then you know that you're going to go down to the lower mission. The lower mission is interesting, and the reason why is because it still has that same platoon area, but it only has 1 combat mission. So you're doing a total, but you're doing more in the top one. If you were going to try to do that, you would potentially want to go ahead and do all of your regular missions, and then you would want to go ahead and do your platoon missions. Look at that, make sure you can put those people in there, and then potentially you might want to deploy slightly more characters to that lower section because you don't have those 2 combat missions, and deploy slightly less in the top one. That would be my suggestion if you wanted to 2-star both areas.
That was a great response, man.
Okay.
Batman agrees.
No, it really was. I mean, I didn't even think about it that in depth, but that's a very good plan.
Translate that into Spanish for me, will you, Shaloki? And then we'll be good. You'll be great.
Hey, we can redo this stream when it's all done. I'll just have my guys dub the voices.
Escucha a grande. That's all you need to know.
How do you say taco in Spanish?
Siéntate, cerra tu boca. Oh my gosh.
How do you say grande patron in Spanish? How do you say
I have no idea. How do you say big? You say it's got to be converted from Spanish into English the other way, so it would be big little boss. There you go. It's like the negative of a negative is a positive, right? Oh my gosh.
Let's see. I'm looking for. We do have a question for you,
here we go. Do I hurry up at 7-star Talia and Acolyte? Got the hint that from CG Patron. Oh gosh, no!
If it's in the data mine, do it. Wait for the data mine, guys.
No. Look, can I tell you? I mean, do not go all in on Night Sisters, man. Don't do it. It's not it doesn't seem like it behooves us very well. There's so many better choices right now.
Yep,
I agree.
We're still not our Grievous rework, have we?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
they were both promised at the same time.
Oh man, Grievous should be so good. I mean, he actually almost beat General Kenobi. I mean,
Grievous should like one-shot Jedi. I mean, seriously, that's what he should do. Because that's what he did.
But we really don't need more anti-Jedi. I mean, I still feel like we need to. We still need more powerful Jedi.
No, no, we don't need more light side characters. Stop with that. We need more dark side. Kill Jedi all you want. We need more dark side.
Cad Bane was the first anti-Jedi, and he's never ever been used. Never been used.
And he was reworked and still not used.
Oh my gosh!
Cad's never been reworked, have they?
The scoundrels. The scoundrels should be a thing. Like the scoundrels should get some more.
Oh, bounty hunters as well.
Yeah, bounty hunters. Well, here we go. We got all these BHG guys.
All sorts.
Yeah. BHG would definitely be lobbying hard for the hardcore, the hardcore deal.
So
we should say they
another
keep
question
it simple. They love rebels.
There was a question by Lucas. So his question was, do you think it's okay to Zeta now? I was on hold until territory battles started.
It depends on what you want to Zeta, and besides, territory battles have started, but we're in kindergarten today. We didn't make it to second grade or third grade. So why don't we make it to second grade or third grade before we realize whether or not we might need some remedial help?
Yeah.
Your scale was all off.
The same rules still apply, if you ask me. Don't Zeta anything you don't need to Zeta. I'm still sat on like 3 Zetas. I'm not going to use them just to bump up my guild's GP.
Mhm.
I'm going to wait and use it on a character that's useful.
Yeah.
Don't just waste them.
Well, but let's be honest. I mean, there are some teams that are really useful in territory battles with potentially a Zeta. We've already we've got lots of game changers information on this. Whether it's resistance teams or whether it's gen teams or whether it's teams like that, whether you're going to be doing old Ben and Han Solo and Leia, OG Han and regular Leia.
I definitely agree. I've zeroed them. That's the reason why I say. But yeah, definitely.
You can use those teams in another area and be highly successful. I mean, if you're Zating R2 for Arena, he's going to be useful in territory battles. If you're going to put 3 Zetas on Commander Luke Skywalker, Commander Luke Skywalker is probably going to be incredibly useful in territory battles. Now, if Lucas is on the fence and he's like, man, you know what I'm thinking I'm going to double Zeta Krennic. I'm going to tell Lucas that's probably not a very good choice.
You better. I mean, he's in your guild. You don't want that crap in your guild.
Now let's talk about it. If let's say he's holding a Zeta and he's holding a Zeta for an Arena team, and he's been looking at a Zeta on a character like Thrawn that's in his Arena team, and that we're fairly confident is going to be in his Arena team for a long time. Thrawn, that's not a bad Zeta. I mean, if you're going to use Thrawn for a very long time, Zetaing Ebb and Flow, for example, would not be a bad choice.
So would it be correct then, Grande, from your point, that maybe Jin and Cody are the only 2 characters that maybe see more worth in Zetaing after territory battles, otherwise it's still focused on Arena?
No, I would say OG Han, because OG Han gets a stun shot every round, which could turn the tide of a battle significantly.
Yeah, Finn, you keep thinking about leaders, and I think we're thinking more uniques.
Okay.
And the thing about a unique is, especially with something like with the platoon missions, you may have to give up your Luke, you may have to give up your Jin, and then all of a sudden your team is like, oh crap. Well, you could throw in a character like a General Kenobi lead and still have OG Han sitting over there with his Zeta and still working out pretty good.
Right.
So. I know. Lucas says he's not that stupid to Zeta Krennic.
Can I add something real quick? Because my guys, I ran a Google Translate in my chat room, Spanish to English, and this is actually a really good technique. Adding to Grande's suggestion on how to do or kind of approach the multi-section phases. Mm-hmm. So some of my guys are saying that they think they want to start doing a kind of like a schedule. So you have a schedule from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., have all the 3-star characters go in and then distribute. And then we go noon to 1, have all the 4-star, 5-star guys go in, and do that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Going back to if you can find the one guy that can spreadsheet the whole thing and figure out everybody's GP by using Star Wars, SWGOH.
A good idea again. It's time availability as well.
I don't really want to jump on my phone all the time. I mean, we're trying to make this thing. We're already 62 minutes in game, and now after territory battles, we're going to spend 182 minutes in game. I don't want to take it from 182 to 295. Just saying.
I'm just saying, it sounds like a cool idea. It sounds like old school heroic tank, right? Where everybody was like, okay, at 1 o'clock. We're going into phase 2, and this is what you're going to do, and it's that's what it feels like right now, man. That's why I mean, for me, I'm excited, man. I mean, this is exciting stuff because now we're going back to the old school. We're driving the car with no power steering, no AC, no power brakes, and we got to go up the mountain, right? Like this is fun.
The one caveat I would say to that is talking about just deploying.
No, just no, it's like
platoon missions are more important.
It's not about making the best of the roster.
No, it's so. I mean, again, I just put it to translate, but what I'm gathering from this is, like 3-star, 4-star are allowed to do this, or whatever it is.
Right.
And then
translate it.
and then when it's all
what's 3-star in Spanish?
It's tres estrella.
Sorry, Loki, carry on.
Tres estrellas.
No, because I see estrella everywhere, and I go, "Oh, that's stars." So, yeah. But no, I mean that's another approach, right?
It's not a bad.
Yeah, it just requires a lot of
bad
coordination.
idea. It seems like it requires a lot.
But it's possible, man. I mean, people were doing it for the tank. People were doing it. I mean, we were all trying to do 3% at one time, right? That was the way to do it. And
2%, baby. I remember
2%, baby.
We were like everybody do 2% with one team. If you can't do 2%, send in another team, and then one of the big guys will play cleanup.
That's actually Sir Loki. That actually sounds like way too much work, because if I dropped if I dropped a 3-star Gear 1 and I dropped a 7-star Gear 11, I'm still going to get the same amount of points, because the 3-star is still going to get deployed. The 11-star is going to get, or the 7-star is going to get deployed.
If you ask me to,
that's true.
If you asked me to drop a 3-star, I would have to wait.
Translate that to Spanish and copy and paste it into this chat room. So
okay,
I will let the guys know that.
I think the
I don't know.
Because each area, it's still that 1-star bump. So, I mean, if he doesn't put it in the platoon mission, it's going to be deployed. He still gets the credit for that tune. If I deploy a fully maxed tune, it also gets deployed. I'm still getting full credit for that tune.
Correct.
On the same note as what he's saying, Loki, I think the easiest and best ways to do it is, like you said, if you do that first hour, or whether it's the second hour, or whatever, early, if you've got a character or a tune that's not gear 9 or 10 plus, and it's not 7-star, and it's eligible to be deployed in one of those missions that doesn't really count for whatever, then that's the time to do it. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Right.
And
if that made sense.
I also
anything that's not good in a battle, if you get what I mean, then that's when you throw it in. So look at what's needed, and then use your low tunes, and that's where you throw them in them positions, if you get what I mean.
I'm actually going to flip this, because I brought this up at the guild. So if we need bases, and your whales can get rid of their bases and still clear the missions, and let's say a free-to-play player needs his base to beat that mission, they're going to lose out on points, because now their base is gone, and they can't clear all 6 waves.
Yes, this has been discussed before. To be honest, what we actually said in our guild was, to be honest, is we actually said Wales get first shout on all the lot, to be honest. Mainly because they've got the biggest stack rosters and they know what they can sacrifice, if you get what I mean. But there's no point me saying that or doing that, because the other hate me on the percentage or whatever, the other 98% of everybody else, it's not good advice, is it?
We're actually
the reason why I jumped on Loki's point is I think that's not a bad idea. That first hour, anybody who's not 7-star or not a battleable gear, not somebody who'd even attempt at throwing in Galactic War or anything like that, then that's when you need to be looking and saying, I've got that character, shove it in.
Yeah.
Use your lowest
first.
We're
doing too. We're going to do the same thing with kind of if you have characters that are 3-star or maybe even 4-star that fit into the platoons, you can go ahead and donate it. Don't donate anything else. And we're actually going to form kind of a reverse list, basically tracking what characters we need in the platoons, and then bringing up the list of the characters that aren't in the platoons and seeing if people have rosters for that, because they can then donate to the platoons much easier.
Hold on. Client restart is coming at 7:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's in 7 minutes.
Okay,
Finish any territory battles and post now. In other words, we don't want you to get a restart while you're actually in a battle. So let's make sure
lose even more points.
Yes. So
and how much notice was that? Is that more than usual or less than usual, or we don't?
Come on, just right. They're doing it because we're streaming. They know we can get the information out.
They know we can get it out fast. Is why I got it.
Still not as fast as Mage Ducky, though.
I was joking. When did that come in? Is that Turrets in Bronziums? Is it? No.
So I'll be waiting for the client restart while my game is up. And in the meantime, let's see, we have a few more questions that were coming in. So, Vlad asks, do you think Hermit Yoda will be effective in a Qui-Gon Jinn lead team? Let's shoot this at Andane since she's just joined us. Hi, Andane.
Hi.
So what do you think about Hermit Yoda with Qui-Gon Jinn?
I'm anxious to try it.
Yeah, I think that's fair response.
You could have two Yodas. You could have two Yodas, 2 old Bens, and a Qui-Gon Jinn.
Well, I heard that he was compatible with. I honestly haven't looked at Hermit Yoda's kit because we've all been so focused on territory battles. I'm just like, and trying to get Han Solo that you're just like one step at a time, you know. Mm. But I heard that he was compatible with Qui-Gon Jinn, and he would actually prolong the use or just make his foresight be just used in a better way, like and make much more and make the team much more effective in arena.
No, you're right. It was basically Qui-Gon Jinn's lead was speed and foresight, and basically adding the new Yoda is basically double speed and double sport. Well, it's not double speed, but he's fast anyway. It's just double the foresight. But no, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I would like to try it because everyone says that Qui-Gon Jinn Zeta was a mistake to use. You know,
it was my first Zeta. I don't regret it. To be honest,
Hermit Yoda would definitely change that in arena.
You know what's interesting though is, and Grande, you kind of gave me the idea with this one. What if you had kind of a whole legacy team with Hermit Yoda, then Qui-Gon Jinn, then General Kenobi, then Jedi Knight Anakin, and then Commander Luke?
Ooh, hey, maybe that's the team you need to get the real Jedi Luke.
That would be pretty awesome. Get the whole legacy squad.
Yeah, so you got an old school legacy squad. So every character that in Return of the Jedi was a ghost and like waving. Those are all the characters you need in order to get Jedi Luke next year.
That would be interesting, but come on, we know the trend. It's going to be some sort of new character you have to buy or farm or whatever. We know what it's going to be.
Come on, you guys are being a little harsh sometimes. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, well, we don't. I'm not trying to be harsh, to be honest. I'm just saying we know the trend. I'm just like you, Grande. I see both sides. Like I say, it's a game. It's a
pacing. Commander Luke wasn't that bad though. Commander Luke, I mean, the hard thing was really R2 because he was a legendary. But I mean, that wasn't too bad.
A lot of people.
I genuinely do think he was that easy because of RSG and Smithy and Ranger complaining.
Well, I also have to tell you that that we had you had a lot of people that had real trouble with Old Ben because they had never farmed Old Ben.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Yeah.
I never focused on Old Ben.
Yeah, if you were not here for the big old Dodge meta that came in like with Dooku. Remember with the Dooku meta, right when it was like right before we got to see like Gear 10 or Gear 11. Remember that? And we were like, it was one of those, and it was like right after the tank raid, I think, because I remember I gave a Nubian scanner to my Dooku, and everybody's like, why did you give Dooku a scanner? I'm like, I use him every day because I'm a Dodge RNG fiend, guys.
It's pretty much a year one player, wasn't it? Pretty much.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to remember it was this whole Dodge meta versus Droid meta, and it was Dodge versus Droid. That was all it was. So if you weren't here for Dodge versus Droid, you probably don't have. I mean, how many of these brand new players have you looked up, and you don't even see them? You don't even see them with any kind of droids at all. Like they have no droids, hardly at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
hardly at all.
Who remembers the Poe meta?
Oh, the Poe, and when they
That's
nerfed
the
Poe,
Poe meta.
nerfed Poe by 1 speed, that was insane. Yeah,
By 1.
by 1, he literally got. We have another question.
There was
here
outrage, though. There was outrage. I remember the forums exploding.
I don't. You remember when we didn't get our when we lost our triple shot on First Order TIE Pilot?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot about triple shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that! I know. Wales got mad about that one. You remember when Old Ben went free to play? Oh dang! People got. You remember when Qui-Gon Jinn went free to play? Oh,
yep. Remember when Princess Leia went free to play?
Oh dang! Yep.
I don't see what's what. It's not the whales who can play anymore. It's just Finity.
It's just Finity. The three whales on the server. The 3 whales on the stream are like, you know what? It really wasn't that bad. And Finity is like, this is an outrage. I protest.
I have to defend the little guy.
We do. We're not whales anymore. We're veterans. That's what it is.
Hey.
Been there, done that. I did it before. Be right.
Oh my gosh! So we did have a question here from Felipe.
So his question is: should my guild prioritize first the rebel battle and then the bottom combat, and then go back up again? My fear is that some players aren't good and don't have good enough light side teams.
Yeah. So without a doubt, you want to go for the most restrictive to the least restrictive. This is why we've said platoon missions first, and then I would definitely say to go for that rebel combat mission, and then go for the light side combat missions. Absolutely, that sounds like an excellent plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Infinity, if you go to Zone 3, the platoon mission, actually the first star blocks the orbital strike from the bottom 2 areas. It blocks the enemies from using it.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
In the third phase, or in the last one you're talking about?
If you go to day 3 and you go down to Rolo, and if you go into the platoon mission, and it's the planetary shield, and if you open it up, 1 star, it blocks it in rear trenches and power generator, and that is the bottom 2 of day 3.
Let me do this.
The bottom 2. Yeah.
See if this works, because then I can share my screen. Oh, let me bring it up for everyone first. There, platoons, there, and planetary shield. Start it up.
Yep.
Alright, so now everyone can see it.
Am I on the wrong day?
Are
you looking in details, or are you looking in the actual?
Go to day 3, click on the platoon mission, and click on enter.
In the bottom zone with the Leia.
And then you can hit the lock, and the first one it says disables orbital and planet in the rear trenches and power generator. And if you back out, the area you are in where you can get that is the power generator, and the area above it is the rear trenches.
Which is why you want to do platoon missions first.
Exactly.
You always want a platoon first.
So that right there will make your missions significantly easier because they're not massively ability blocking your team.
Yeah, in fact, you potentially just want a platoon for, like, if all these people that are talking about different timing and stuff, potentially you don't want anybody to run any combat missions. You want them just to platoon up and platoon up and platoon up. So like, let's say this thing opens at 8 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever time it is for you. You go in, you drop your platoon buddies off in both stages. You back out, and then at lunchtime, whenever everybody else has done all their platoon stuff, then you go back in and actually run your combat missions.
Yeah, and I brought up one from Phase 2, so tomorrow, so just so you guys can see the difference. If you look above the ability, it tells you where this ability is going to have an effect. So this is from Phase 2, and you see that it reinforces the rear trenches and the power generator, which is actually the Phase 3 area. So the Phase 3 bottom is the power generator, the Phase 3 middle area is the rear trenches. So when you click on each one, and you look at its ability, it tells you where it's going to have the effect. So, like what Katie was saying, the platoon in the bottom in Phase 3 says it affects all other territories, which includes this phase. So you'd want to do that first.
Go up to the top one for tomorrow, and it says rear airspace, forward airspace, contested airspace. Yep. You go into the top. It says those 3.
Mhm.
So now you're like, well, where am I at for airspace? Well, if you look here, rear airspace is the top one for day 3, and then forward airspace is the top one for day 4, and then contested airspace is the top one for day 5.
Yep.
So just to confirm, you're saying the platoon missions, they affect the current phase or the
depends.
the later
It
phases?
depends. It depends. It doesn't always. Sometimes it. So on day 3, they actually affect the current phase.
In the bottom one, only in that bottom territory.
Only in the bottom one.
And this is the thing. It's all about reading, isn't it?
Mhm.
This is all about
You need to
reading.
read.
Yes.
This is all about
read.
This is all about reading before you play. Yes.
This is all reading and math. I love territory battles.
I agree.
I like it a lot because
Hey,
there's more strategy involved as you keep pushing.
Another one is in day 5 in the middle, because that one actually that is the one of the only platoon missions that affects the area it's in.
Not true. Go to day 6.
Yeah,
I
day
think
6 is all of it since there's nothing ahead of it.
Is it?
Because there's nothing ahead of phase 6, so it pretty much all
So
affects
it's
that particular
But
phase.
day 5 does it too.
Yeah. That's the only one before phase 6, I believe.
So like for example, on the bottom on day 6, it says weaken the ATT ability in Imperial Landing. Well, if you come over here if you're in here in day 6 and you look at it, the first phase that we're in is actually Imperial Landing. So this is on the bottom of day 6. You're in Imperial Landing. So those platoon people you bring in, if you look here, it says that it weakens the AAT ability, and it says like deal physical damage to the target. This attack deals 50% more damage to enemies. And then it says speed down, hinder speed down by minus 50%, badly hinder, minus 35% damage, and disabled. So you can see here that it's going to you need to platoon first, and you possibly need more of your people to help you platoon before you go. If you look in the middle one here, the one that's called the Imperial Flank Mission, it says that weaken the AAT ability in the Imperial Flank Mission. So day 6's abilities actually affect that current phase.
I don't know about you guys. I'm still really looking forward to that. I really enjoyed the battle against the ATST. We're going to get that again in this, possibly something different. Looking forward to it.
Possibly. The other one too is the one at the ships one here says weaken the orbital bombardment in Imperial Flank and Imperial Landing. So on this one, on the 6th day, the platoon missions in ships make the character missions in ships in the character portions, the middle and the bottom one, easier on day 6. So on day 6, you literally want to put in all of your platoons first, and then probably make sure all your buddies put in all their platoons.
And think of all of these phases as training. Obviously, you're going to eventually try to get to phase 6. So as your guilds are preparing and trying to figure out how they're handling the different phases, try to just make it so you're always doing the platoons first. And just kind of gets you guys in the habit as a guild of having a schedule. So this is a certain time that you do your platoons, then everyone can go into combat and special missions, then everyone can deploy. If you start keeping yourselves on that schedule, that's why it's good to look ahead, so you can kind of see where each of the phases is leading you. Phase 1, like Randy was saying, is like a catch-all because you can make mistakes. Ultimately, you want to get into the PhD level of phase 6.
Right. I will tell you
Client restart, by the way.
Okay, today, for example, whenever we were in our guild, I kept taking screenshots of the platoon missions and like telling people, hey, we need one more Canaan. And then when we got one more Canaan, I went and looked who did it. And the guy that finished off Canaan, I was like, congratulations. Thank you for being the dude who finished off our platoon missions. Everybody go ahead and go in and battle. I mean, it was really fun to do it like that. So because now it means it opens, and then you're sitting there, you're calling out ahead of time like, hey, we need a Canaan in the 6th mission of platoon battles. Hey, somebody got to throw a Hera in the third mission of platoon battles on the bottom section. Like, throw that in. Like, we can't battle until you guys do this. Come on, let somebody pull it out. So it could be fun, right?
Yeah.
It could be fun.
And Chrome Cobra is making fun of the fact that you said orbitable.
I said I know. I saw that. I corrected it, right? I called it orbitable. Orbital.
Orbitable. You're
Orbit.
still saying it.
What the heck did it? My client's restarting. What the heck was I supposed to say?
Orbital.
An orbital strike.
Just orbital. You're adding like 3 syllables.
Let the English person tell you how to say it. Orbital.
Here, orbital. You say it like this. Orbital.
I feel like Governor Tarkin.
I'm Governor Tarkin.
Yes.
Actually,
I will take over the Death Star, and your accomplishments will be for nothing.
Actually, wasn't actually the guy that played Obi-Wan Kenobi actually British? The guy that played Old Ben?
Ewan McGregor actually is, and Alex McGuinness is. They both are British.
They both are. They're both British. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what the hotfix is for.
Indubitably, yes.
I'm trying to see if the notes came up. Did you see any notes on what the hotfix was, Grande? I didn't see any specifics.
No, I didn't see anything, man. It just restarted and nothing.
Yeah, it just said it's a hotfix, but they didn't really specify yet, so maybe it'll come up in a second.
There's a new character. I'm just kidding.
No, there's an update. Let's see.
Oh, there is? There is an update? I'm just kidding about the new character. Don't everybody go check your game. It's really not there.
Let me see. He updated. Let's see. Outage. I think it's an outage fix?
Well...
Yeah, it's an outage fix.
They fixed the guild in-game chat, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. They just fixed the outage in the guild in-game chat. I think the rest of it all was done, so... Alright.
That's the first thing I went to go check, because mine froze for like the whole...
I went straight to the phase 3 to see if they changed.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
You can see it on the stream too. It came back and I went straight to the bottom of phase 3.
I saw it. I was like, So my game. I mean, they're having some kind of silly like little issues. I mean, I was having issues where that little chat where like it says what's being deployed and what's not being deployed real time. Mm-hmm. I was having some serious trouble not understanding what the heck was happening because and Knights Templar saw it. I'm like, there's supposed to be some chat in this box, and Knights Templar goes, "You mean like this?" And I was like, "Yes, I mean like that." Thank you. Well, anyway.
Okay. But I will say props to CG for giving us a heads up on the client restart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
It is getting better. It's like we said. I again agree with you, Grande. These at first, when it's a new game and you think, "Oh, why is it not working?" They bring out a new raid and it's not working. Everybody's becoming accustomed now, aren't they, to the fact that you realise that it's a new update. It is going to have its teething problems and this and that, and at least, they do some things wrong, but there's always going to be these delays and these glitches, and until it gets, after a few weeks, till it gets smoothly flowing. And fortunately, people are coming accustomed to it rather than just raging. And we're all becoming accustomed to it, and it's getting better. With just learning to just sit back for a minute, give it an hour, and just enjoy the game. And it's what we're doing. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's getting better.
Don't stress. Don't stress. It's getting better. And just play. Just play. Some of my guys were all wigging out today, and that was like, you pretty much can't mess up today. You pretty much can't mess up tomorrow. Just try. It's okay.
All right.
Is there any more questions, Finn?
No, it looks like.
Or should we start talking about your hat?
There's lots of
or
things.
Something.
But I think overall the questions are pretty much done. I want to just echo that the communication level between the devs and the community has been really good as of late. Now it's just, and I'm not trying to be picky, but we've got to make sure that the content is as good as it can get to. So that's just kind of the next step in the evolution here.
It's got loads better. We've got on there for what, 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Like
the
Ranger
position
says,
we're
we
in.
give them props when they do good stuff. So I'm giving them props. The communication has been a lot better. It's moving in the right direction. I kind of felt bad for CG Carey kind of getting thrown in there and becoming like the face of that post. But, I mean, we just got to start smoothing that over a little bit better. But it's definitely moving in the right direction, and shout out for them for the effort that they're putting in.
I'm sure everyone's missing Ranger. I'm sure I am. I'll do the English version. This is Capital Radio. We shall thank the CG devs for doing their job. They're trying. They are trying. Let's just put a little hands together, give them a small round of applause, and let's just let them carry on doing what they're doing.
Happy
Thank
to
you.
So, before we start closing out here, and I'll let you guys kind of just do your closing stuff. I don't know if I have the end scene kind of prepared here, but because it's kind of important and it was something created by the community and we have some different viewers now than we did at the beginning, I just want to point out, if you guys saw this post by Cozy Spoon, it is a fake. It is not a real post by Cozy Spoon. If you see it, please let people know that it's a fake. No dev, especially Cozy Spoon, would post something like this. This was created by somebody. There's a lot of things wrong with it, including the date and even the forum where nobody would be able to post. So please make sure that you stop this. It doesn't do the community any good to get this kind of stuff out there, and it really needs to be stopped. So, all right. So with that, if you, Turbs, do you want to go ahead and promo your stuff here?
Everybody watches RSG is getting to know me now, to be honest. I've not been posting that much. I am going to try and post some more, but...
Is it because of territory battles?
Not so much. To be honest, I just love hanging out with you guys, just like everybody loves the community, and this is why I love playing the game, and this is why I'm here. Forget posting my stuff. Just loving hanging out with you guys. Let's just play the game and just enjoy it, and yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. KT?
Knights Templar.
I don't know if I got too much to pimp, man. Be honest.
Okay.
Andane.
We love having you around.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Andane, do you have anything that you're working on right now?
Working on in terms of what? Farming or gearing or any kind of...
Real life. What are you working on in real life? Go on, tell us all the goss.
We wondered if you were cleaning a shotgun, or maybe you were like painting a house, or maybe you're like, doing dishes.
I'm currently.
You're explaining Loki's life now, aren't you?
I'm currently washing dishes while I'm listening to you guys.
She's like a lampshade.
She's like lampshade.
Normal housewife stuff.
That's what lampshade
normal
does
housewife
too.
Stuff.
Yeah,
lampshade does normal housewife stuff too.
Yeah, Darth Lampshade, who's a guy who actually he lives in Houston.
Yeah.
He would do dishes while he was on the stream and like clanking around, and I'm like, bro, man, come on.
Oh, I turned the mic off, so you guys wouldn't notice.
Yes,
I know. Yeah, he doesn't. He just
Oh, he doesn't? Oh my god. Well, I'm a bit busy with, full-time job and a kid and everything, so it's kind of like I'm multitasking.
Fair enough.
I want to be part of the stream and be active and stuff, but at the same time, I got stuff to do.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you guys inviting me and then letting me sort of come in and out because that's what happened. Like I log in and then I'll have to. So I appreciate it. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Sir Loki, do you want to go ahead and pimp your stuff and then RSGs? You should be.
You just said Mr. Sir.
No, I haven't been posting either, man. I'm guilty of that. So I've been busy with territory battles. Shoot. But I got a YouTube channel. It's Sir Loki, SIRLOKI. Doing mostly arena battles and a little bit of raid. And I got, so I build custom lightsabers on the side if you want to check them out. Or if you're interested in, doing that stuff, you can check out my videos. You can obviously ask me a bunch of questions here.
Master
also,
Skywalker, there's too many. What are we going to do?
That was a good one, man. I like it. I like it when you guys do like James Bond impersonations. I think that's my favorite because it
What do you mean,
reminds
you
me
guys? That sounds
of no,
derogatory.
like you and Mike and no. It was you, Mike, and Smithy. Like if you guys, it's like the cast of Train Spotting. Man, I love it. So
My name's Bond, James Bond.
I love it. Miss Moneypenny. I love it, man.
Miss Moneypenny.
Okay, so we are Reality Skewed Gamers. You can catch us on we have a Wednesday night stream. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. Did I get that right?
Yes,
I apologize. I'm on the West Coast
Yes,
time.
you did.
You got
So that is our main stream. That is when the game normally updates, and we bring you the latest information about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and all the other fun stuff that we work with. We also do the Saturday morning. It's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the Jedi Academy, where we host a live Q&A session with I believe Turbs is on there as well, and Mike, Bella.
Lots of Brits. And Darth Bella, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. That's a fun show, man. And then Riemann from Riemann from the Alliance.
Riemann Warrior.
We just get a lot. Yeah, Warriors on there. We got a lot of good people on there. The panel's great, and we answer your questions. We try to do a Saturday night as well. I think we've been trying to do that. It's like a late night fun. Mad Libs, anything goes. You can watch me play GW while Ranger gets semi-drunk, and we just have
peas
fun.
In his pants. Yeah.
Peas in his pants. Crazy donates money, and it's fun, man.
He doesn't draw packs. He don't do packs.
No, he's not doing packs.
He's trying to get me to buy packs, man. But
So wait a minute.
I bought a pack on the stream last night.
I need to do the meme of the baby Ranger and say, "I don't do no packs." Ranger don't do packs.
And in closing, where's the merchandise again? Finn made some really good updated Alibaba and some really fun around the corn. All the little punchlines that we say on the show, he is taking those, converting them to apparel and merchandise, and you can get them. Is it what's the store again, Finn?
CafePress.com/realityskewedgamers.
Awesome, thank you. So you can get it there, and then as always, if you like the stream, we really appreciate if you hit that super chat function in the YouTube channel, and all the proceeds go to all the gear that we use to get this stream up and running and broadcast to you guys, because it's all about you, and that's why we're here. We're not game changers. We play the real game just like you, and we don't have dev accounts. We have real accounts, so that's who we are. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Was that okay?
You got it all. Ranger would be proud. I know he's been testing you for weeks.
We've been prepping him in the corner.
So that concludes our stream for today. This was kind of just a random stream. I hope you guys are doing well in territory battles. Hop on the RSG Discord if you guys have questions. There's a lot of us that are going to be there if you want any questions answered about territory battles or anything else in the game. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next stream. And just as a reminder for those of you guys that's followed, this is a holiday weekend, so no Jedi Academy this weekend. So we will see you guys on our next stream. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.